So, this adventure takes place on the continent of Brayand. It's fairly newly settled, maybe about 300, 400 years as far as you know. There's a lot of different cities all across the continent. Up to this point, they've existed, for the most part, peacefully with each other. A lot of the cities are all focused in on actually fighting back against the environment and the original inhabitants of the island, or the continent. All types of different creatures, monsters, anything that existed here before settlement. Your story takes place in the city of Crossway, the home of adventure. All right, you guys see this map?
Yep.
All right, so Crossway is a place where people go that feel that they have more of a destiny than just the common folk of the world. People seeking fortune, fame, glory, to prove themselves, and whatever else might cause someone to travel here. People come from all over the world to escape politics, and even something as simple as to find a great adventure. Your characters have been here for anywhere from a few months to a year in anticipation of the upcoming trials of verification that are held by the Adventurers Guild. This whole city of Crossway was built around the guild. It's mostly vacant. All of these houses here is like a home away from home for people that participate in missions of the guild and travel. They'll complete their mission, come back, stay for a week, and then they're out on the roads again. And it just so happens every few months a new trial happens. Usually between 50 to 100 people participate, and any sponsored team that makes it through the trials gains the ability as a group to accept missions from the guild. And there's some this also is used as a scouting place for other members of the guild. Like a person that's not sponsored won't be able to pick up missions, but a guild a party that can pick up missions might be able to see like their skill in the trials and recruit them in. But you guys have all been sponsored by a fellow known as Vadrian Dawnlight from the guild called Mad Fox. Just go ahead and move you all over to this map. Since Vadrian Dawnlight was in town around the trials, he was asked by Strawn Starrun, the founder of the guild, to sponsor a team, and not wanting to fail, he put together a quite balanced team after assessing everyone's skills, finding good fits for the group. And he told you all to meet him an hour before the trials start. And so, Gust, you're the first one here. You arrive at the tent. The smell of air, pollen being carried on the air, and the different wildflowers from the surrounding meadows kind of wafts through the area. The wind's kind of rustling. You're on the outskirts of town here, and just it's a quickly thrown up tent. Obviously he's not settled in this town. It's more of a get to this town, build a tent, rest for a little bit, pick up the next job, and go. And you get to this tent. You see Vadrian already leaning back against the tent, kind of expecting you guys to get here. He's got a couple horses, most likely for other members of his group, because as you know, Vadrian has been riding through town on his mount, a riding lizard named Razor, who is also here, tied up to a hitching post. Kind of, his head's jerking around. He's looking around for like flies or gnats in the air, trying to catch insects. Really off in its own world over here. And You stroll up to the tent, and this is the situation that you observe. And Vadrian looks up at you and says, you're a little bit early today.
Well, what can I say? I was pumped to get started.
Well, you might not be as pumped if you knew what was in store for you. I'm sure you've heard the rumors that not everyone makes it out of the trial alive, or so they say. They could just lose their minds and leave town.
Yes, I've heard the rumors. I've seen a few in my past. But if you go in without the confidence and skills to do things on your own, then you'll never succeed. So it's better to go in pumped full of energy and expect to do your best instead of going expecting the worst and having the worst happen.
It's good that you're confident, but keep in mind, confidence doesn't guard against a spear into the heart.
I just nod.
Alright, and as this conversation's happening, Ham, you're the next to show up. Right on time. Right exactly an hour before the trials start. And you walk up to the situation, Vadrian still propped against the tent, speaking with a small goblin in very fancy and exotic clothing.
Ha! So it looks like I'm not going to be the smallest one in our parties.
I turn over and go, "You may not be the smallest, but you got the biggest beard."
Vadrian kind of laughs, and Genian, did I say your name right? Genian? Okay. Genian, not too far behind Ham, also shows up and notices the group already gathering here. It looks like our
guys.
herbalist has made it.
Hi guys, I'm your resident flower picker.
I look up at the Dragonborn and go, "You pick flowers, I play tunes." I pull out my flute and play it a little bit.
I like this little man.
Okay, and then as the group is gathering, Liz walks in, maybe about 15 minutes too late. It's possible. It's about midday right now. It's around noon. The sun is right overhead. It's possible that he delayed for a certain reason. Maybe it had something to do with the sun bearing down, but he finally makes it and joins the group at the front of the tent.
Liz walks forward and looks at each individual standing in front of him. And he says, "Hi."
Hello.
Good day, my friend. And I give a bow.
I bow back.
Vadrian gives a little nod.
Well,
as you know, part of sponsoring a team comes with the responsibility to deliver your first trial, the trial of spirit. Before the trial starts, I should make sure you're all hydrated. I have water, I have wine, I have ale. What would you all be drinking?
Water for me, my good friend.
I'll take the ale.
I'll take some wine.
I'll have a cup of wine too. Good to get the senses ready in the morning.
You said water or
Wine.
wine. Okay. So Vadrian disappears back into his tent for a moment. And you're all left out here in anticipation of the upcoming trial. What would you be talking about while Vadrian goes to fetch your drinks?
So, what are all of your fine folks' skills? I am a master of performance myself. I love to shoot the guns and wield my daggers. And I can read a face on anyone. So what do you guys bring into this team?
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna start smacking stuff, and until they fall over.
I
Be good.
I personally been trained all my life. I can do most of the activities I'm requested to do, but I'm especially good at checking our surroundings and making sure we're not in danger.
Are we in danger?
Not now.
Oh, that horse looks a little suspicious. Speaking of suspicious animals, I am a druid. I can talk to animals. I've been training for a couple years, just on my own out in the north. This is kind of my last shot at something to make something of myself. So whether or not I die, I'll die. I'll die either way.
I look at the Dragonborn and say, well, I guess I know who I'm riding.
Not quite yet, but maybe one day.
So
All right. And at this point, Vadrian comes out holding a glass of water, 2 glasses of wine, and a mug of ale, and distributes it to each of you. And he kind of props himself out back up against the tent. And as he does that, there's like dust, like sand falling out of his clothes. Actually, this is the first time you've really thought to look at his outfit, and it's all rags, weather beaten. Looks like it's been getting blasted by like a sandstorm even, and it's all ripped apart. And you each notice, if you didn't notice upon your first meeting, some of you did, 2 black daggers at his hips with golden hilts, and there's a design on the hilt that looks like a scarab or some kind of beetle with emeralds engraved into or embedded into the gold. And he props himself against the tent and sort of like watches you all as you're drinking. And he finally speaks. He says, "The trial of spirit is to be sure that you're all ready to accept this challenge and teach you what it means to be a part of the guild and what you risk by being a part."
I
He
take a
gives you-
sip of my water and I look at him and said, I already got plenty of spirit keeping up with the magical daggers of yours with our last game.
Magical daggers.
I look at Adrian and say, "What?
And his
There's."
face gets real serious.
I was gonna say, I tell Adrian, "What? No drink for you?"
I have water skins. I didn't want to tell you guys until we walked to the trials. But I'm not going to be able to watch the trial. I can deliver your first, but my Mad Fox, we got an emergency mission. We're going to be leaving very shortly. So I'm going to keep my wits about me. We have water for the road.
that's a shame. We can talk when you're
Oh.
back and we're part of the guild.
Yeah. We'll find you.
I like the confidence. And he watches and waits for each of you to finish your drink and takes the mugs back into his hands. And he says, all right, your 5th member is waiting inside. Follow me.
I follow.
Yeah, follow.
5th member. Good.
Various like camping supplies. There's a few bedrolls laid out to the sides on some like old weathered carpet, and there's several like an assortment of weapons laying by, different packs that you assume belong to the different members of Mad Fox. There's some food, plates. It's pretty just a simple tent. You notice a little campfire in the middle that they most likely cook on and have used for heat while they've stayed here over the course of the last week. And Vadrian walks to the back of the room and takes a position on the opposite side of a table that's laid out with 2 candles. And Also, for the first time in this room, you see a real tall, scrawny human. He looks very young. He's wearing some simple robes. You recognize him. You've seen his face around the crossway for the last since you've been here, just doing different tasks. But he's really kind of kept to himself. He seems maybe a little shy. You kind of get that read on him from his body language. And he's standing at the table with an empty mug in front of him. And he's kind of looking at the ground. And Vadrian holds his arm out and kind of waves at you to like take a fan out and take a position at the end of the table across from him.
So Badrian points at us to move into the table, yeah?
Yeah, he's like welcoming you into the tent.
Magic, make sure you move your token.
Oh, I didn't realize I had
No worries.
control of my person.
All right. And so Vadrian starts walking around the table, kind of pacing a bit. And he explains to you guys once again, you know, there are rumors that people don't make it out of this trial alive. And even then, the dangers don't stop there. And he pulls up his sleeve and shows like a bunch of scarring, like down the back of his arm and across his the backs of his hands. He says, "There's much more dangerous out there in the world than a controlled environment like the trials. It's people that take place in the trial. They understand that death is a possibility always. It's always around every corner."
We are
And you're
all
okay with that?
mortals. We are all mortals after all, aren't we?
Better trying in here than
But some
just
people would like
scraping by out
to.
there.
And as you guys speak, he raises his hand, like mid-air, and one of his daggers, like levitates out of the hilt at his side, and it kind of hovers like it's fixed in the air.
I will beat that magic dagger one day, my friend.
And normally, Vadrian would, with your interactions that you've had with him, you would have expected him to kind of give a chuckle or laugh or like acknowledge the joke, but he seems very serious right now. And he says, "I hope you all understand what this means. Some people would prefer to spend more time on this plane of existence than have that cut short." And he takes a step further, closer to the group around the table. And with a snap of his finger, the dagger flips horizontally and sort of hovers above this other human kid that you've seen around the town. And he says, "What about you? Why are you so willing to die?" And the human kid, in response, doesn't say anything. He kind of actually looks up and looks around at the rest of the group. And Vadrian says, "Maybe I picked wrong." And he snaps again. And the dagger very delicately moves forward and slides across the kid's throat. And blood starts at just a trickle from the wound down his neck, down his robes into a pile on the floor where eventually the human collapses beside him. And Vadrian waves his hand through the air, and the dagger moves and takes a position in front of Gust. Vadrian turns and said, "Go ahead."
Is the kid dying, or is he like bleeding out on the floor? Or is he,
There's
like,
a lot of
generally
there's
okay?
a lot of blood. There's a lot of blood, and he is not moving, as far as you can tell.
Can I go ahead and cure wounds?
Sure. Go for it.
Let's see. What is it? 1d8.
Yeah, be sure to move your character over there because it's touching in order for it to be effective.
Fuck the kid, right? I let him die. Fuck it. There's no place for the weak.
Plus.
Okay, and as the tall dragonkin druid, his magic starts to work. There's a faint glow that kind of circles around the human body. But nothing seems to happen. The body lays there, lifeless. And Vadrian kind of gives a dirty look. Or maybe not so dirty, but he kind of like lowers an eyebrow to Ginian. And he turns back to Gust. The dagger's still floating midair in front of Gust. And he says, "Why are you in such a hurry to die? What drives you?"
This is the first and only time ever that Adrian has ever seen Gus look so dead-faced in his life, and looks directly in the eyes of Adrian and says, "Watching your own mother die, and not having the power to protect, being helpless. I'd rather die than live in a world where I can't protect the ones I love. I'm going to find that killer, and I'm going to kill him."
And Vadrian kind of nods. And very sharply jerks his head over to look at the dragonkin, and he snaps again. And the dagger flies, levitates horizontally in front of Gideon's throat. And he says, "What about you, healer? Why are you in such a hurry to die?"
It's better I die, at least for the entertainment of others, than out in the wilderness alone. I have no clan anymore. I have no family to call a family. So I figured I would come here, give this one last shot. Better than dying out there in the forest in the cold.
What's so wrong about being a wanderer?
So I mean, if I can get a better purpose for my life, I'd rather find it and serve it. If this isn't it, then so be it.
And not die a nobody? And he laughs. Not really. He turns right after that. Not really. It seems like he's not looking for a response, but he snaps again. The dagger flies to hover in front of Ham's throat. He kind of walks around, wanders around behind him. He says, "What about you?"
I mean, you said it yourself. People in this realm want to live. So, unfortunately, for a lot, that they don't get to live as long as they'd like. So, if my death means them living longer, then I'll gladly pay that price.
It's a noble goal. You've come to the right place, the Adventurers Guild. We do a lot of work that helps preserve the life of others and keep things in balance.
While this is happening, Liz has been kind of like watching, and he's kind of like serious. He's not that affected by this, and he says, "Well, I guess the trial is working out as planned." And he kind of like looks down on the corpse, kind of like disappointed.
Vadrian, he turns very slowly, not forgetting the last member. And he walks over, his dagger hovering in the air beside him. And his other hand, his left hand, he raises it up and holds it, palm up, midair, like he did earlier. And the second dagger comes out from his hilt. And this time he snaps again. Both daggers held point first at Liz's throat. And he says, "What about you, Trap Caller? Death seems like a certainty for you. You're willing to embrace it so eagerly."
If I die right now, no one would even remember. So I don't care. I'll take the chance.
And as this is happening, Vadrian cranes his neck a bit and kind of looks out. He looks outside of the tent. And he says, "Well, I guess it's about time then." And as he says this, you notice that the world around you is starting to look like drops of paint, like the colors dripping down from the walls. And everything seems a little bit blurry. And Vadrian kind of just like almost, he sort of like vanishes, or he drips down to the floor too. Like his figure slowly drops out of like standing next to you guys here. And you notice him next, like sitting at the chair at the table. The body of the human is gone. And he says, the drinks you had. Star Run had a few extra dream caps lying around. It's just a hallucinogenic effect. I needed to be sure that you were willing to die for this. My teams don't lose.
He tricked us, the motherfucker.
I look over at Vadrian and say, "You satisfied?"
This isn't for my own enjoyment. The next trials will be much worse. Well then, if you're ready, I can lead you to the arena.
Let's
I
go.
nod, pull out my flute, and as we walk over, I start playing
Yes.
a very upbeat tune to try and get everybody's head back in a brighter sense.
All right, and then with that, Vadrian steps back around the table and starts walking toward the exit of the tent, expecting you to follow.
I definitely
And,
follow.
I kind of do a little like
Okay, maybe I won't
Dance.
follow that close. I don't want to be on his heels.
I'm always trying to stay behind everybody else.
Okay. And you guys make your way through the town. You know that the arena is constructed all the way at the back of Crossway. It's an old, just like thrown together arena. We'll move your characters there.
Damn, he fucking tricked us.
Let's get you some tokens.
I got like scared. Okay, there's a lot of people here.
Okay, and at this point, Vadrian would explain to you guys that
Nice.
next is the trial of the mind. On your trip there, he's explaining this. But and then finally, as you guys get there, he turns and speaks to you. As I said, my group, we have something very urgent we have to go deal with. And he kind of steps over here toward some bleachers that were set up and waves for the group to come forward. And the rest of the four people sitting at this section of bleachers leave and follow behind him. You see an old, or not, she's actually like middle, like 25, 30ish. She's pretty young looking, a human with red hair. She's wearing like real fancy, like what you would imagine like like a naval officer, kind of like. It looks like seafaring clothes, but not just like ragged pirate stuff. She looks like very much a part of a military, and she follows behind Vadrian and exits, walks back toward the center of town. Next, you see a big, brutish. You assume it's a half-orc because it's not slaying everything in sight. There's some humanity in there. But it's he very much leans into the orc blood. Just a huge, hulking figure walks behind the group. Next, an older elf woman, long red hair, pointed ears, wearing a very fancy green dress, follows behind the group. And then finally, another elf with pale skin, glowing red eyes. She carries a staff with her, funnels out, and follows. And you assume that is the rest of Mad Fox that follows Vadrian. They all leave, all heading in a line toward the center of Crossway. You kind of look around the arena. The first thing you notice are four, they look like old siege equipment that's been repurposed as like sort of watchtowers or balconies to overlook the arena and what's happening in there. You see a group up here in the bottom left. You see there's a couple dwarves up there. A tiny little, like a pale halfling woman is like holding on to the siege equipment and kind of like pulling herself up to look over because normally she'd be too short to see over this ledge. And she's kind of like looking intently down at the groups that are like standing in the arena. And a couple of the members, they're like missing eyes or wearing blindfolds. And you get the sense that from stories you've heard, that these are probably members of the Stone Vanguard who are they're well known for going deep into the continent, deep into the earth, and not relying on sight down there because it's super dark. And you've heard stories that they're very well specialized in fighting like the dwellers that live under the continent of Bayrand. The group sitting on the bleachers in front of them. Gust, you would recognize a couple of them. There's a woman sitting in the front with very brightly dyed armor, at katana resting on the benches here, and her friend from the tavern wearing a bunch of like his clothing's made from like leathers of animals you've never seen before, with like different bones attached to it in weird places, and he's wearing a hood like very much over his head, like so you can't see his face really. He's
over at them.
Yeah. And as you nod, the woman is already kind of like watching the entrance of the arena too, and she gives you like a real friendly wave. Next to her is sitting a really wild-looking orc woman who's like perched up on the bleachers, like watching out into the arena, like ready to see some carnage. You can tell she's like almost drooling, just waiting to see some violence. Right, the next group up, Gust, you would recognize Valerie. It's all a bunch of they look like the healing type, kind of. They have a bunch of herbs laying all out along the benches here. They have a bunch of open books. They're not really paying attention to what's going on out here. They kind of all seem to be like grinding up herbs, like kind of just small talk between the group.
I, of course, yell to Valerie and wave.
And she does not hear you. She's very much focused on what she's doing, which you would kind of understand, like from your meeting in the tavern. She seems to like really zone into what she's doing.
I shrug.
And then the next group here, Gust, you would recognize them as the Stalton Six. All six of them here now seeming to sit in like almost just a whole cloud of gloom back here. They seem very uninterested in anything that's going on around them. They're wearing a lot of dark clothing. They all look pretty pissed off too, but they're all like sort of facing just each other instead of like sitting in the chairs normally.
I don't even try anything with them.
Yeah. Up in the top, you see the old man that saw through, Gus, the old man that saw through your sleight of hand. And he's standing atop one of the towers next to another woman that you recognize from the tavern. Okay, we'll start in the bottom right. And while this is going on, you might catch a glimpse, Gust, of your father standing up in the bottom right tower with his traveling companions.
I make it very known. I acknowledge his companions, but I do not acknowledge him.
And that works out because Autumn seems very uninterested in the group that just approached the arena. His face is very stone cold, and he's looking out at all the different groups participating. Victor's standing there. You've probably heard stories of Autumn's team Victor, Jay the monk, and Lizard all kind of stand. They're very you've all heard stories about Team Farsail. Gust maybe a bit more than others, but they're very well respected. They're newcomers to the continent, and they get some of the most dangerous jobs just because they very quickly prove themselves and work their way through the ranks of the Adventurers Guild.
While Liz is like looking at his surroundings, he kind of avoid to notice a very muscular and attractive and really charismatic figure on the group on his right. Like there's this barbarian with this big axe, and he kind of avoid thinking that he looks pretty cool, but he goes back to looking at his competition, trying to see.
I kind of nudged the dude next to me and say, "That's Lizard," if you're curious, as I noticed him immediately glance.
I know that. Like, oh, interesting. He looks cool.
That's funny. Yeah, they're definitely noticeable. They're almost like glowing. They have like you just get the sense from them that they are heroes to aspire to be. You can't help but look at them up there. The next group over here, underneath Team Farsail's tower, they have a huge map like laid out over the bleachers here. And they're all kind of looking at it, pointing at different locations on the map. Gust, you would recognize them as the Trades Guard. When you spoke with them, they're very much talking about like information, like preparing against ambushes.
I definitely remember them because they gave me some information I was looking towards, so I very much keenly smile in that direction.
Right. They're perched over there looking over a map. The next group, you recognize the woman in armor. These people here are all wearing like very nice suits of armor. Like they look very almost royal.
She looks kind of hot, I think.
I bow in her direction.
And she is kind of watching over in this direction too, and she gives you a very like a subtle nod. And just from their armor and their demeanor, you'd recognize this as Silverbroad. This is a group that they kind of go into kingdoms, and they're meant to help defend against assassinations and invasions. Like they're very well trained in like fighting and military, and they're usually the best fit to send on any job like that, where they can kind of like blend in and lead forces. And then this next group, Gust, you would recognize a man. He's wearing like all kinds of like mismatched clothing, like torn up. He smells. You remember specifically, he smells like ocean air.
Another stoner.
You guys all can. He immediately draws your attention in the back because he seems like he's already drank way too much, and he is not sitting. He is standing and clapping and pointing at Gust from across the arena. And he kind of like leans down and says something to the halfling sitting beside him and like hits him on the back a couple times and goes back to clapping and shouting over at Gust.
I look in his direction and I smile and wave because I remember very keenly how he was quite helpful to me.
Okay, he's nice, I guess.
And he's smiling. He's not calming down, or shows no signs of calming down. He's happy that you're looking over at him. Finally, the last group. They look very, very proper. They're wearing very fine clothing. And you don't know too much about them, but you can kind of maybe guess by their demeanor. You knew that some of the members were in town. You could probably assume that they're members of Benevolence.
That's a nice hat.
They're a party known for their training and like they're very nobly trained, like the kind of person that knows on what side of the spoon the fork goes.
Ooh.
And they're really good at like blending in with high society and kind of manipulating cities from within.
Snakes.
And then
do I
finally,
notice the lady in that group? Is that the same
you
one?
you would recognize her for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. Then finally, the arena.
Okay.
You notice. You expected, from the stories you've heard, you've expected way more people to be here, but still seems to be like a pretty good turnout. There's a bunch of groups already, kind of like clustered into groups of 4. And they're all around the arena. There's 4 like stone pillars at the corners of the arena, and the groups are kind of all like huddled around, talking amongst themselves. And
This
finally, like as you
Hunger
guys
Games.
approach, there's a man standing at the arena, and he says, "You're Vadrian's sponsor team. I'm Strawn Starrun. It's nice to meet all of you. I'm the founder of the guild."
Excuse me, Vision, is this the guy in front of us?
Hello.
I give a bow and I say, "Good day, my sir."
Good day to you. It's nice to meet you all.
Vision, is this the guy just in front of us? This guy?
Yeah, right
Okay.
here. This is
Yeah.
Strawn Starrun.
Okay. We definitely recognize him, right?
Yeah, he's over your time at the guild, like he's not out and about a lot. You know who he is. You've seen him. Like when he walks into a room, like everybody kind of turns their head and
Yeah.
looks.
But
But he's usually like probably busy at the guild, like dealing with like, oh, this group has on this job, this group's on this job, like kind of like divvying out jobs. He's like a very busy man and like well respected whenever you see him.
Liz has like a tremendous respect for him, and he nods accordingly, almost like he's saluting a king. So quite a respectful manner to salute someone. And then he stares at the arena, trying to figure out if there's anything who looks like a threat already.
Yeah, I mean, if you would like to assess some of the different groups, or
I would certainly like to do that. Like,
I'm also would like to do that.
yeah, Liz is definitely more interested in the people that is in the arena than the people that is outside of the arena. If that makes sense.
Okay. As you look into the arena, there's this is very common between all of the groups that they don't seem to mesh well together. Like everybody seems a little uncomfortable or just kind of nervous or anxious. Like they've been kind of thrown into the same situation that you have, where a member of the guild has sponsored them, and this is kind of their first day meeting, and they're all like, there's a lot of small talk going between the groups, and they're kind of like, seems like they're trying to like just get a feel for each other too. And you've seen a lot of these faces, actually all of the faces probably at some point you've seen like doing different jobs for the guild, like passing time until the trials start. And from what you've witnessed in the days leading up to this, you know that they all seem pretty well trained in whatever they do. It's going to come down probably to a matter of how well they work together.
Okay.
But definitely, like, you feel like if not every group, at least one member in each group could pose serious threats to you.
Is there a particular group that makes more sense than the others, where I go like, them, everyone in that group feels maybe stronger than me?
You would I would say that you would see all of them on like pretty equal footing to you guys.
Okay.
Because yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna see, are there any dwarves on the inside of the ring?
Yeah, they're at the very far back. You see a group that definitely has a dwarf here, and yeah, he looks pretty well armed. He's got a great axe on him, some light leather armor. It would lead you to believe that he's pretty quick for having such short legs. There's a younger dwarf woman over here that she has a lot of piercings, and she's carrying around a crossbow, like a light crossbow.
Okay.
And then there's another dwarf woman over here that she doesn't have a weapon on her. Just like a light looking robe, like easy to move around in. And she has some like brass bracers around her wrists.
Okay. At this point, have we been kind of like by body language? Have we been like invited to enter the arena to get inside?
I kind of just start walking in, and I go, "Heary, heary."
Before you,
Welcome.
I'm not with this guy.
Go ahead, Vincent.
Oh,
yeah, as you're screaming and walking forward, Strawn like calls you back. He's like, "Wait a second, you guys, you have to take one of these." And he has a chest sitting behind him that he pops open and pulls out 4 purple vials. And now that you see this, your eyes are really drawn. Like the purple, the color doesn't really exist anywhere here. Like maybe on some clothing, but it definitely stands out. This vial of liquid. And you kind of look around, and some members of the audience you see also have these. And they're all kind of holding it, and like some of them will like look at the vial, then look over at Strawn, and then like go back to whatever they're doing in the group. And then you notice like a lot of these people out here also have them, but their vials are empty. And he pulls out 4 of these and hands one to each of you, and he says, "Drink this as you enter, and the trial will start."
I turn around and say, "Well, that answers my next question." And I just kind of fucking stumble back and grab one and chug it back.
I walk up right after to grab one and then follow in.
Liz makes sure that everyone in his new party, has like drinked the substance before he actually drinks it.
Alright, I'll go ahead and grab mine then and head up.
And then he follows.
Okay, and then as you guys enter the arena, Strawn like shouts out. His voice seems almost magically amplified as it sort of like echoes around the different like wooden structures and trees in the environment. And he says, "The last sponsored group has arrived. The trial of mind is about to begin." And you watch as all the audience, like in unison, all drinks their vials too. And a very familiar feeling comes over you. You watch the world around you start to drip like wet paint. And all of the colors seem to melt into the ground before you're left with no color at all and only a vast blackness.
I look around to the group and I go, "Welcome to another dream."
And they may hear your words echoing, but you're not quite sure, because even your party members have sort of dripped into non-existence.
I'm looking around, making sure they're right near me. You can definitely see Gus is trying to very much make sure you've got his bearings straight.
Okay, and then within the dark, you see a little bit of light. It slowly grows. You gotta get your tokens moved over. And the light slowly grows. You start to hear sounds around you as this light's coming closer to you. You hear like it sounds like a fireplace, and like the sound of fire like flickering. And you notice yourselves when you finally come to, the light continues to grow until a room around you starts to like blur into reality.
Boy, we're rich.
Yeah, you find yourselves no longer standing, but sitting at like a really nice wooden table. And guys, give me like 1 minute here. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, it's Snickers, isn't it?
As a warning, I did say in my description, I'm loud and I'm proud and I'm overconfident, so I'm gonna make a spectacle.
We
of everything.
noticed. We noticed. The goblin likes to, show off a bit.
A bit? No, a lot.
Okay. So, what do you guys think right now? Like right now, I'm
Wait, so
feeling
we
a
see
bit.
this whole room. Everything's back in clarity.
Yeah, I
Well,
assume,
here's the
right?
thing.
This feels.
It's a trial of the mind, so what we see is actually not there.
It's not there, right?
I'm wondering if
Yeah.
these 3 like little wooden pieces on the sides are doors. I feel like those are probably doors.
We maybe have to make a
Alright.
choice.
I don't think we should look at the doors. I think we should look at the fireplace.
Yeah, the
personally.
fireplace.
All right. So, you find yourselves all sitting at this wooden table. It's very comfy. There's a nice tablecloth laid out over the across it with a candle glowing in the center. You're surrounded by 3 chests. One is open with gold spilling out. The other 2 seem locked. There's an old fireplace here. It's roaring already. The fire's made. And there's piles of gold all around you. And you'd notice 3 doors
Okay.
built into like the stone walls around you. And there's a note sitting on the table.
I'll pick it up and look at it. I'll read it out to everyone.
Okay. The note in very fancy script, very fancy handwriting. It just says, "Congratulations."
Well, that's no
Cool.
help.
Congratulations for what? Is this a trick?
I want to look around the room and see what I can find.
Okay. Where would you like to look?
I would
Okay,
definitely
let's
like
switch
to
it.
look at like kind of like around the fireplace chest, like up in this kind of region, to see if there's like any cracks or anything, or any like see if I can notice anything in particular that's out of place.
Yeah.
Okay. Ping for me.
What do you use to ping?
You can
Just hold
click.
left click.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
that was me
Yeah.
testing stuff.
Yeah, so I wanna look around here, see if I can notice anything like basically secret entrance behind the fireplace kind of thing, or anything out of place in this room.
Give me 1 second. Switching up music. All right. Go ahead and roll a perception check. And you can move your character over there too.
All right.
What is this?
Oh my god, all the pings? I wondered, I didn't see any pings,
Yeah.
and they all just like
Same.
20 of them
I
fired.
think the Roll20 had like server was like down for like half a second.
That's funny.
I definitely want to also check, by the way, Vision.
Okay, go ahead and go over there. You can roll a perception check also.
Can I look under the table? Is there a table that is got a bottom underneath it?
Is it good? Yeah, it looks like a normal table. It's just a normal table sitting on top of like this old rug here. You don't notice anything
Oh.
too out of the ordinary.
I want to move the rug. I want to push the table out of the way and move the rug. If
Okay. Let me go for the perception checks
Okay.
first. All right, Gust and Liz, you're kind of looking around the fireplace, and it's just like a lot of old charred stone. You're kind of working together, kind of just like checking out every inch of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
The stones are all like kind of thrown together here, but you notice a very tiny hole like in between. It looks like too perfect of a circle amidst like all of the stones here, the way they're like placed in to form this fireplace.
Is this hole like on top of the fireplace, or?
It's like at the top part of the hearth here.
Uh-huh.
It's
I,
like built in to like right above where the fire's at.
I
Is
look over at Liz and I go, "You said you're good at detecting traps, right? See if that's a trapped hole."
yeah. While looking at this hole, is Liz able to tell if it's more like a trap or a key with his perception
Do an
skills?
investigation check.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So you look at this hole, and it doesn't look like any keyhole you've ever seen. But you're definitely sure it doesn't look like there's any like trap set up to it. Like all the signs you would usually look for in a trap, you don't see any of those here. No wires or no like weird mechanisms or like pressure plates, anything like that. You would assume it kind of looks like a keyhole. It's just very different from what you would like the normal keyhole you'd find.
Can I see anything at the other end of the hole? Is there, like
It's just pitch black.
pitch black? What's the size of the hole? Kind of like.
What to compare it to? It's very small, like the size of a berry, maybe, like a
Okay.
small berry.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can I scout the area to see if there's something that would fit in, like maybe in the chest or in the different piles of coins or the table? Like, is there anything that would fit in that we can?
Yeah. Tell me where you would like to look first.
I think the first thing I'm gonna look is this chest here, since it's the closest that I'm like kind of like sitting here. This one.
I'll move out of the
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
All right. And while this is happening, McMagic or Ham, I'm sorry, has started pushing the table away, like off the rug, like to a different location. And what else did you say you were doing?
I was gonna move the rug to see if there's like anything underneath it.
Okay. As you start pushing the rug, you hear like the sound of metal being ground against stone.
Okay.
And there's like
Oh god.
Your mic died
You
out.
guys,
for a
yeah,
second.
you cutting out for me.
I mean,
I heard grinding of stone.
all right. Can you guys hear me all right now?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear you
Yeah.
now.
Okay. Make a perception check, Ham.
Do I just click perception?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, did you have advantage or disadvantage on?
I have a 2, or no, it says 0. I have no perception.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
in your character sheet. Let's see. In your character
Oh,
sheet,
for me.
there's.
He just rolled a 3.
Oh, I don't have his toggle set up. Give me 1 second.
Oh,
Did I?
okay.
Did I just roll frostbite?
Yeah.
You did that a while ago.
A while ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw that.
You probably clicked it by
McMagic
mistake.
on your character sheet now. You should see advantage, normal, disadvantage. Do you see
Yeah,
that?
I see that.
Okay, so normally it would just be at normal. I just didn't have your toggle set up. When it does the 2 dice rolls like that, it's advantage or disadvantage.
Oh.
But we'll take the first roll for that. That's usually what we would do. But now you're all set up for next.
Great first roll, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You don't notice anything. It's just you hear the sound and it doesn't seem like there's anything there. But luckily
Everyone's
for you,
able to hear it.
yeah, luckily for you, the sound was just loud enough that everybody in the group could also pick up on it.
Okay.
Liz turns around and obviously wants to check what that sound was really quick before anything happens.
Okay, go ahead and make a investigation check. Okay, you turn around and you definitely would recognize it as the sound of metal grinding against stone.
Is it from the table?
Well, when you look over there, just for a second, the light from the fireplace causes like a little glisten, like a little sparkle of light from in front of the rug. And as you would move over there to look at it, you'd find like a tiny, like a metal cylinder, like maybe about the same size as a ballpoint pen, but not quite as long.
Oh, maybe like a key that I might want to grab.
You know he's not going to give you the answer to that.
You
Uh,
should stick that in that hole.
Yeah,
Liz
but
grabs the cylinder and shows it to the group.
I definitely look at him, and because I saw the hole before, I point to the hole and say, I can't reach. Put it in.
Vision?
Would you like to put the cylinder into the fireplace?
I want to put the cylinder into the fireplace, but I want to do it really careful and making sure
Before
that...
you
Yeah.
wait, go ahead and finish what you're
Go
saying.
ahead, Archie. Sorry.
I was gonna say, if you'd like, I can try to snuff out the fire with my druid craft.
That sounds good.
If the fire's in the way of the hole, I mean.
Maybe, I mean, I think it's a good thing if you do it just
It's
in
not.
case.
It's like built into the top of the fireplace.
Okay.
Is there any other light in this room though?
So, just only the candle that's sitting on the table.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll go ahead and snuff out the fire.
Okay, and the room goes much darker outside of the small candle flickering at the top of the table.
Yay for
And
dark
all of your
vision.
shadows kind of...
Yeah.
What?
Yay for dark vision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would...
I'm using my dark vision now.
Right. So to you with the group members that have the dark vision, you would almost not even notice the dimming of the fireplace. It looks like still just a lit room to you. But you definitely notice that a lot of the light source out of the room now, the candle is like kind of casting your shadows all against the stone walls. As Genian like snaps and the fire disappears.
As the fire gets put down by Guinean, I proceed and I continue inserting the cylinder into the hole. And again, I do it really, really gentle and really slowly, making sure that, if I feel any mechanism triggering or something, I'm able to do it slowly and not well just full on. So I do that.
Okay, and as you slide this small metal object into the fireplace, you notice that it seems like it's a perfect fit. And you're able to push it all the way in until the edge of the cylinder is like lined up perfectly with the fireplace. And you start to hear a faint rumbling sound. And a bunch of dust starts getting knocked loose from these walls around here. And you watch as a piece of the wall slides in to behind the fireplace, and you find a doorway hidden behind.
Okay. Well, I guess we get
Might
close
be-
to the door.
Yeah, you guys can just walk past that wall. Imagine this isn't there. It's just like the frame of the door.
Yeah. I definitely say
I'll lead the way.
before I look at my dwarven friend there and say, whoa. Let our friend check for traps. This is a trial.
Yeah.
Anything could be a problem.
I follow the suggestion of Gust, and I proceed to get in position to identify if there's any trap in this door.
Okay, go ahead and make a investigation check. All right, you look around, and this is the most normal wooden door you've ever seen in your life.
Well, I look at the team, and I say, it's safe, and I proceed to open it slowly.
Okay, and as you open the door, torchlight from the next room kind of floods in through the crack as the door is fully opened. Let's go ahead and reveal this.
Okay.
I look at my party and say, "I'll enter last, my friends."
I slowly move in, making sure that there's no traps or anything in the floor that I could trigger by stepping in.
Okay.
I follow close
all right.
behind.
What you guys see here too as you're walking through the doorway, there's another table in the center of the room on top of a rug. Same situation, tablecloth with a candle, glowing, flickering. There's another note. At the back of the room, there's a table. It looks like there's some like broken glass on it. And there's 4 statues all facing the table in the center. And as you funnel into the room, each of you would recognize one of the statues as yourself, wearing very fancy armor, like very fancy suits of armor. And all your weapons are drawn here, and you're standing in like very heroic poses. And each of these statues has a chest behind it. And Liz, if you would like to look for traps,
Yeah.
you can go ahead and make an investigation check. Okay, and as you look across the room, everything seems to be pretty normal. There's no, all of the square stone tiles seem to blend in. It doesn't seem like you're kind of trained to look for pressure plates and that sort of mechanism that might trigger a trap, and all of this seems fine. And one other thing, as you guys are also walking into the room, now you can completely see over here from the side door. You notice like sand spilling through the bottom, and then also there's another door to your left, and it kind of smells like burnt stone, like wafting through the doorway underneath.
Okay. I enter the door to the room, and I wait for my companions to make a move.
I gotta go pee real quick. I'll be right back in 30 seconds. You guys look around, obviously.
I'm gonna go over and read the note.
Okay. So Ham picks up the note. Maybe we should wait for quiet for this.
Good call.
Actually, yeah, if anybody would like to take a bathroom break, this is probably a good time.
Can I, while we do this, Vision, while they're looking at the note, can I investigate what the glasses are? The glasses on the table, maybe? Oh, everyone left. Fuck. It's alright, we'll do it when he's back. Dude, I was trying to keep the RP going.
Wait, do you?
Does he have to
You need
instance to be able to read the note? I don't think so, no. We are able to read common. The bard successfully pisses the
So you guys are still alive, that's good.
I'm back. What happened?
Nothing. We just stopped.
Okay.
Was there a chance for us to die?
Okay.
Yes.
Yep. Many.
Yeah, if you didn't say anything in that very first tent, you could have died. Apparently.
So, what did the note say? Yo, just give me like 5
No,
seconds.
that's what I
We
said. I went
waited
over
for
to
you,
read
don't
the
worry.
note.
Oh, okay.
You didn't
cool,
miss
thanks.
anything.
All right, so Ham picks up the note and starts reading it, and it says, "Be safe on your travels. Don't die. There's 4 potions for you on the table at the back of the room." And as Ham, you're reading this note out to everybody. Everybody kind of looks up at the table, and all the potions on the table are smashed, and the liquid's like dripping out onto the floor.
Can I lick it? I'm joking.
Just get down on all
I'm
fours
joking.
and
I'm
start
joking. Sorry.
Would you like to lick the glass-infused liquid?
Is there any way if I can tell if the liquid on the tables is indeed beneficial or might be harmful? Is there any way we can salvage something? or is it completely gone?
Can tell whether that's a potion or not. It seems it's pretty they look pretty unusable. Like there's glass shards all over the place. The liquid is mostly like dripped out and been absorbed into like the pores in the stone.
Okay. Liz gets close to the table. He's thinking about licking, but he contains himself. And
I look at my Dragonborn friend and said, "Wait, you're in herbalism, right?"
I mean, yeah. Are there any defining features of the liquid?
Yeah.
Make a medicine check.
oh, holy!
We.
Okay. You would the scent coming off of the liquid very much reminds you of just a regular healing potion you would have crafted yourself. Like the scent of the herbs are very apparent, and it looks like the same consistency and color of what you would recognize as an actual healing potion.
Okay.
All right, guys, don't worry. They're just healing potions. Probably.
Were.
I can put the potion back together.
Lucky.
I look at the Dragonborn friend. Well, can you make any? It seems like we might need some in the future if they're trying to give us some free.
Let me see if I have any. I don't think there's anything in my herbalism kit. Maybe.
At this point, Arxie would
think so.
Genian would go to look for his herbalism kit, and for the first time, he would notice that none of his equipment is on him. He has nothing. And as you all
I'm
kind
naked.
of look, you have your clothes, okay? But you would notice like your weapons are missing, and like your backpacks and gold and everything is gone.
Everyone's, yeah.
Which of these
You are-
statues is me?
Right here. It says Ginian.
Okay, I'm gonna go look in this chest.
Okay. And as you open the chest, hey, what do you know? You find all of your equipment.
Ah. Well, Liz gets to his
Yeah,
chest.
what-
I don't know which one it is.
Right
Yeah.
back here.
And he
Right.
gets all his shit.
You go ham in the top right, and then Gust behind your very extravagant statue, you find your chest. And everybody finds their equipment that they brought with them from reality.
All right.
I should have brought.
Well, looking under the table in the last room seemed to go well. So let's try it here too. So if the table's movable, I'm gonna like the last
Okay.
room, try to move it.
Go ahead and make a strength check. You find this table's much heavier than the previous one. It's made from a darker, thicker wood.
That's not it.
Jeez.
That's a save.
It's
But-
not right.
Oh,
Oh, how do I?
Yeah, press
No, that's right.
on
Strength,
strength
you just do-
directly.
that's a save.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a saving throw. Where's the?
The actual stat.
Click the name of it. Just click the name strength above your stat.
Strength.
Well,
There you go.
holy shit.
Same thing.
It's destiny.
Damn. He's a strong boy.
This table is way heavier than the last one. The last one didn't give you too much of an issue. And this one also, for a well-trained dwarf like yourself, very stocky, built for very muscular, but not for show. Definitely built for power. Pushes the table off of the rug without much of an issue.
Nice.
I'd like to see one of you try that.
Is there anything under the table that we notice?
Just a very fancy rug.
Something.
I'm interested in this door.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay, let's Ham. What are you doing? Anything else?
Oh, to look under the rug.
Sure. So you lift the rug, and you kind of toss it to the side. This time, there's definitely no metal on stone grinding. Just more of the same.
Okay.
Just more of the same stone pattern here. And as you're all kind of like re-equipping yourselves and looking around the room, Gideon, you go to the door on the right side of the room.
Mhm.
You notice a bunch of sand like spilling out under the door.
Like actively spilling out, or
It's already spilled, maybe like to full
okay.
capacity. Like no more sand. No more sand can come through here without busting the door down.
I make the suggestion we shouldn't open that right away. Bad feelings.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, actually, can I just like kick the bottom of the door with my foot and hear what sound it makes?
Sure. Go. You kick the door. Make a perception check.
What are these
Alright,
rolls? We're killing it.
You kick the door to see. You're listening. You're listening very closely to like anything that sounds unusual. And you kick the door, and it sounds like a very just like a hollow wooden door. But as you're listening closely, you almost hear the sound of the ocean coming from the other side. It's something you would recognize from up in the northern area of the continent, where you come
Okay,
from.
so
Yeah,
so it doesn't sound like the entire room is filled with sand and there's no way for the door to move. It's not like a heavy thud.
no, it seems like there's no resistance on the other side of the door. Like it's able
Okay.
to move in the sockets or the hinges. It's like a very hollow wooden echo.
All right.
Okay. I don't think this is going to kill us, guys.
But we got another door. We have options. Remember, this is a trial. Maybe we have to choose.
Go kick that one too.
While this conversation is happening, I kind of like follow, cast a advice, a kind of like suggestion, and I check on this like second door, making sure that maybe it's also like the other one and it's like easy to open or.
Yeah, I'm standing like at a little bit at distance, but I'm looking at Liz while he does this.
Is there a way for me to determine if the door is a threat or if the passage is safe?
Do an investigation check. Okay. You get to the door, and it looks pretty normal to you. You walk up to the door. You smell like it. The door feels hot. You notice like it smells like almost volcano, like a volcano would smell, or like heated stones at the bottom of a campfire. And the door seems normal to you, other than that smell, and the heat.
Would I notice anything while watching him do this?
You notice a half elf looking at a door on the western side of the room.
I meant, never mind.
I turn into the group and I say, I'm not sure about this one. Maybe let's start from the sand room. And
I'll go ahead and
I look at Ganian, kind of like I'm on his side now to like open the other door instead of this one. I'm not confident on this one.
I'll crack this one open.
Okay, and as you open the door, let's see here.
I move towards the door, by the way.
Gotta shuffle some screens around here.
While he's doing that, I'm still curious about these statues because they're very ornate.
We can always come back though.
I was thinking, can I try to push one of the statues, see if it's movable?
Sure, make a strength check. Okay, you go to push the statue, and it is you can tell it's way heavier than the table from earlier. It is built from like there. It's not hollow. This is all completely just like somebody dropped a rectangle or like a cube of stone here and like chiseled it out to make these statues.
Definitely not moving.
It is
this
way
one.
too heavy for you. You try to push on it and it does not budge at all.
Yeah, I'm probably just a little bit tired from pushing the table.
Yeah,
That's all
of
it
course,
is.
of course. Yeah, makes sense.
Make a perception check too. while you're over there.
What's perception?
It's on the little list.
It's on skills.
On skill.
Oh,
Yeah. I wanna like kind of like see if I can find any hidden switches on the statue in front of me.
oh!
Sure, make an investigation check.
Oh, rip.
I did my perception.
Hey.
Okay, and then so Ham and Gust, you would both notice this at the same time. Gust is looking around for switches, and Ham, you are leaned down with your hands against the statue, ready to shove it. You both notice very, very small text at the base of the statue where your character your hero is standing, and you see just 0/3. I'll type it into chat here for you.
On the base of each of them?
Well, definitely the two that they're looking at. You kind of, the group, I would assume, would probably like communicate to each other.
Which two had 0/3, so I can refer it over to the rest of the group?
The one that you're looking at, and
So
the
that-
one that Ham is also. Ham would
So
also
the-
notice this.
Can I join in the investigation?
Sure. So yeah, the Gust and Ham would kind of like both look at each other maybe and say like, "Oh, there's something here," and you would, I would assume, like call out to the rest of the group at this point, and that there's some strange text on these statues, and as everybody comes over to look at their own, you notice that is at the base of all of them.
The 03, yeah? Same numbers?
Yeah, same exact numbers, just 0/3.
The statues don't look damaged in any way, right?
They look very pristine, like no cracks or no crumbles out of them or anything like that. They're all perfectly shaped and crafted, except
at-
for the engravings.
Since all of this is an
Okay.
illusion,
I look at the group and I say, what do we know? There's sand behind that door. We got our equipment back. There were healing potions, and now there's statues with numbers.
this is a trial. There's 3 trials that we must pass. 03. Maybe we gotta make those numbers rise up somehow.
So that first room we were in don't count as one of the trials we just did, but it was an entrance.
I'm pretty
into
sure
it.
that was the entrance to the actual trial.
So this is just like the safe room almost.
Maybe it's just like the beginning.
If we make the assumption on that and we have 2 doors, that means if there's 3 trials and each door is a trial, that means they both lead to the same third room.
Maybe.
Or that first room had 3 doors in it, and the one hidden door.
Ca-
Yeah, we never checked those other doors.
Can
I think
Should we
there's
go
also still a
Should
chest
we
in
go
there,
back
too.
and investigate those quick?
Yeah, I'll run in there real quick.
Buddy system, I'm going with the druid to help him.
Vision, can my Liz is really thinking about this and everything he has observed. Is he able to like tell what kind of like what is going on, what it could be, using his knowledge?
This whole realm is very foreign to you and everyone else. You, with the information you have, you can't piece anything together.
Liz follows the group, and he's definitely careful. So he's making sure that these new doors
I'm
are
gonna go ahead and
gonna be normal.
go.
Well, I don't want
I'm
to be
gonna
left
listen
alone,
into
so I
this door.
follow Lizard. Or Liz.
What'd you say again, Ian?
All right, Liz, you wanted to look at
Yeah,
the door.
I
you
want to
said?
make sure that this is not a step backwards and we're not putting ourselves in danger. I want to check each of the doors.
Okay, go ahead and do an investigation check. Okay, you get real close to the door and you're looking for like wires, that sort of thing, like any mechanism that could be unsafe for the rest of your group. And as you're up there examining the door too, you hear just silence from the other side. But from as far as you can tell, it looks pretty safe
Um, I slowly open the door. I look at the group, kind of like looking if they want me to open the door. I put my hand on the handle.
Go ahead.
I open the door slowly.
Okay, so as you open the door, candlelight floods in through the little crack. And the rest of the group, you would hear a sound coming from the south side of the room. And
From the
you
room I'm
watch
in.
as,
What did it
Yes.
sound like? The sound.
as Liz is opening this door seems to like swing open a little bit. And you see Liz's head like peer out around the opening door.
Let's go. Okay.
I definitely acknowledge this, and I say, well, we're in an area with non-Euclidean space. That means anywhere can lead anywhere.
All right, let me go
Yeah,
to this
I
other
feel
door.
like we were on the right
Yeah,
path before.
this definitely feels like a trick. We were definitely on the right. I think we should just check the door we planned.
I'm gonna open
Yeah,
up
that
this door
sounds-
real quick.
All right, Arxie, as you
Let's take a
open this
second.
door, you feel like you're trying to open this door, and it seems like it's being pulled back shut. And finally, you're able to like muscle it open a bit, and you find yourself face to face with Liz, who has opened the door on the other side as well.
Yeah, we definitely need to
And
get
they-
the fuck out of here.
All
And then
right,
they,
I don't like
then they
this.
kiss.
And then I go back into this room because I don't like this trickery.
All right, I look at the druid and say, well, I guess we're going with the Urk guess on the sand door.
That was definitely
let me open
that
this
was
up.
definitely a trick. We passed it. I think we should just go forward. This is that trial.
Okay, so Gideon, as you open the door, let's reveal this here to you. You see a small island. There's water. There's like a little sand bridge that leads up to this island, and you don't know how this is working, but there's like ocean waves crashing like from the door, like up onto the beach here. And in the center of the room's a small island surrounded by a few palm trees. There's scattered rocks around the beach and shells. And at the very center of the island, there's a little, like, a patch of grass with a big rock sitting in the middle. And on top of this rock is, like, it looks like a pearl, like the size of a baseball. And
On
then
top-
leading
on
up...
top of the rock, yeah?
Yeah, and then, like, going up the sides of the rocks, it looks like a bunch of small... They're like little spheres, but there's thousands of them. And it almost looks kind of like foam. It looks like it would be foam, like, climbing up the sides of the rock.
Before we
there's no
keep
note in
moving,
here.
does this area feel safe? Is the sand solid around us? Does it feel like this could
definitely
collapse
making
or
note.
something?
I'm definitely making note. I'm staying in the doorway and keeping the door open and kind of just standing here and observing at a distance, seeing how the group reacts in the environment.
Do
Okay,
I perceive ever anything out of that could put us in danger? I'm kind of freaked out at the moment with this wave thingy, fucking Origin Christopher Nolan situation.
Between the last two doors, last three doors we noticed, and the fact that this room and what we have realized, I don't want us to lose our path to the safe room. That's why I'm staying in the door.
Okay, you don't notice anything immediately threatening.
Immediately.
Is there any, like, you could look closer at some things in the room if you'd like to.
I would certainly like to check this this rock here and the pearl that you mentioned.
Okay.
It kind of gives
Go
me
ahead and
like
make a perception check.
like an Indiana Jones vibe. Perception?
Yes. Okay. As you approach the rock, you get a little bit closer look. All right. So first off, you look at the pearl, and the pearl has a big number 1 painted on it. Just it looks kind of like fresh paint. It's just a blue number 1, and you hear like You hear some kind of movement. It sounds like an animal moving around in like leaves kind of. And you look down and you see all of the spheres under you that are the foam climbing up the sides of the rock. It looks like they're moving.
So like the sand feels like it's alive, kind of thing.
It's not the sand. There's like this white substance. Like it looks like foam or bubbles like rising up along the side of the rock on the edges. And it looks like they're moving.
Is it kind of like the trail that a snail would leave, kind of?
Let me look. Let me Google that.
Yeah, sure.
It's just kind of like
Yeah.
slimy bubbles.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, but
Okay.
there's more. It looks like that, but like maybe a little more bubbly.
I tell to the group, this seems alive. I'm kind of like looking at the team because I don't really know what I'm seeing, even though I noticed. Does anyone recognize this? What can this be?
Can I make like a nature check on that? Like the bubbles?
Sure.
Is that a nature?
Yeah, make a nature check. All right. So as you get close to the rock,
Okay.
and also while everybody's funneling into this room here, you notice like there's weird like shifting in the sands around you. It's very obvious, but it's like it's weird. You notice that the sand is moving, but it's not like real like making a show of it. It's like real slow, like shifts here and there. And Arxie or Genia, as you go up to the rock, you would notice that the substance around the sides reminds you a lot of like insect eggs.
Ah. Don't like that.
Me neither.
There,
You want me to
there are
see if there's
thousands.
You want me to see if there's anything underneath the rock?
No, no.
I look at the dwarf at this point and say, "Don't touch anything yet."
Well, what are we waiting for to touch things?
Do I notice the big one on the pearl vision?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very obvious to everybody.
I point out, look at the pearl. It's got a 1. Remember the statues with the 0-3? All we have to do is just get that pearl into this room. But obviously, there's a trap.
I look at, I listen to what Gust is saying, and I'm kind of getting a vibe that if I take this pearl, something's bad gonna happen. I check more like this moving sound to try to determine if there's this, is it like a threat?
I have an idea. What if we take one of these rocks on the beach, it's about the same size as the pearl, and switch them out really quick?
I can try that.
I raised my hand and said, I am a master with my hands.
Okay.
Good, because I'm not.
I look at a group, say, want me to do the switch?
Go for it. And I step.
Here,
I make sure I step backwards, and I'm like on a safer position.
And I say, I'll hold the door for you.
I acknowledge my dwarf going for the door, and I say, keep that shit open.
Okay.
I would investigate all of the rocks and make sure you find the one that is
Perfect.
as close as perfect.
I look at my like trap friend and say, you find me the best rock, I'll do the switch.
Well, I look for the best rock. Is it possible to me to find the best rock?
This rock right here has a smiley face painted on it.
Smiley face. I grab the rock with the. Is it similar to the one with the 1? Can I tell?
It's just a very small yellow smiley face. Like maybe this is somebody's pet rock that they left on the beach.
Can I check on this rock to notice anything?
Yeah, sure. Do an investigation check.
Can someone help me?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll help
roll.
you.
Do it. Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation with advantage.
God.
All right. So everyone's kind of huddled around, staring at this very normal rock. They stand there for about 5 minutes or so, staring at it, and you finally come to the conclusion that looks like every other rock you've ever seen in your life.
I hand the rock into Gust. I said, "Don't fuck this up."
I look at the half elf and say, "Want help?"
Okay.
So he's helping me. Does that give me advantage there, Vision?
Okay, I get close to him to try to help him.
Yeah, go ahead and you can roll with advantage.
Like the plan is, right? He's gonna set the rock down as soon as I pick up the pearl. Like that's how he's helping me.
Okay, this will be 2 separate rolls then.
Both with advantage then, or
You both have separate tasks.
okay.
So you're working together, but you both have your own objective to fulfill.
Okay,
What
so
would
we
this
both
be? Sleight of hand?
Both what?
What would this be? Sleight of hand?
This is going to be. Yeah, both of you make sleight of hand checks.
Normal.
Yes.
Oh,
Man, you lift that orb up.
Okay, so Gust is able to quickly grab the pearl, and Liz leans forward toward the rock to place the smaller rock in the place where the pearl was. And his palm gets very dangerously close to some of these eggs along the base of the rock, and he slightly bumps them, and you hear now you can really see it, like the sand is really moving around in these areas. But none of the eggs seem damaged, and the rock goes in place, and nothing seems to happen.
I look at Liz and say, "I want the fuck out of here!" And I just bolt through the next room.
We start moving carefully. And as we're getting out of the room, I try to notice if something changed in the room.
Other than the sand moving around after you put the rock there, everything seems exactly the same.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, let's get in here.
Okay, let's get back in, boys.
I'll hold the door on this side now.
Don't forget that there's 2 doors in that room too.
I look at the door.
Do I need to go back?
Close that door. I tell the dwarf, close the door behind us. Like I don't want to deal with that room no more.
Okay, I'll close it.
Do we notice? Has anything happened to the statues now that we have the pearl?
Yeah, when you walk into the statue or the room now, and I'm sure all of you would probably look at the statue, you notice that it's a 1/3 now.
Oh,
All of them are just one.
All of them have 1/3.
Oh, boogers! Nice.
Well,
Oh.
we know our objective now.
We know
boys.
what we need. We know what we need now.
Is there a spot to put the pearl? Or is it just chilling in here now?
It doesn't seem like there's any obvious places or indentations.
I set it on the table.
Make sure. I think we should carry it with us just in case. No.
if you set it on the table, does the number go down?
No, it still shows 1 out of 3.
What do
I
we?
look at group. It's just got to be in this room for the number to change. Like I pick up the pearl and I go back into the entrance of the room and I kind of like say, "Did the number change?" Like kind of yelling back.
Did the number change?
You walked out of the room with it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it shows
Yeah,
0
yeah.
out of 3 now.
Oh, we're 0 out
All
of
of them
3
sh-
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, all
go
of them
back
show
in.
Yeah,
that.
so we'll leave the
We'll leave it in
pearl
there.
inside then.
Yeah, I definitely put it down on the table and say, "We know a safe spot now."
What do we do now?
Do we go back into the sand room or try our luck with door number 2?
I don't like that one at all, man. Let's
I
check
look.
the other two, and then if we don't get anything clue, we can always come back, right?
But the sand was moving.
It was
I
moving
look
when
at-
we got in.
I look at the group and saying, I don't want to go back in there. Just do the other door. It's very clear that we need 3 objects.
All right.
Okay.
Well, regardless, we have to stick as a team. So I guess we're going in this room.
Can I check the door again? Since I assume a bit of time has passed.
I kind of look at my half-elf friend saying, "Why are you so paranoid about this door?" And I just kind of like go up to it and I open it.
Oh my god.
All right. So Gus walks up to this door and flings it open. Oh, 1 second.
Well, I don't.
I
fling it
make like
open.
a jump. I make
No,
like a
no,
quick
I don't
jump.
fling it open. I grab the handle and open it like I normally would enter a room. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like
You
like
said you
announcing my
open it.
presence.
Gust very normally, but also with a lot of style, opens the door. And the smell of just like cooked stone immediately like hits you in the face. Oh, 1 second.
I was expecting a fucking explosion or something. And yeah, and it's Minecraft lava, you know, like you.
So you walk in, and as you open the door and kind of look in, it looks just like somebody's like living quarters.
There's traps.
Traps. Yeah, there's bear traps thrown like scattered all around the room. There's like some buckets on the floor here, like an old table with a couple of chairs sitting at it and a couple of candles. Let's see. You see like an old grappling hook over here, bear rug, fireplace, more traps, like a bed, like somebody's living in this room. And across the hall, you see another doorway with 2 mirrors sitting on the sides of it. And definitely the smell of cooked stone is very much in the air.
Can I check if this room can I if there's any hidden traps or something in front of us?
Sure. Roll an investigation check. Okay. As you approach the door and look in, you look around the room, and piecing together all of the information you have, you don't really see any traps, and this is kind of reinforced. You don't see any very obvious traps, at least in this whole living area. You're able to like reinforce that in your mind by kind of piecing together that if somebody was living here, they probably don't have a bunch of traps like laying out in the areas that are traversed often, like where the person would be walking back and forth.
The other traps are live, right? They're loaded.
Some are loaded, some are closed.
Okay.
It doesn't look like whoever left these traps here were probably not trying to trap anything inside of the room. It was more like they were the traps are just kind of like all thrown around. Like some are closed. It's just like it looks like maybe for this person they're tools that they have here and not something that they were actively using.
He's not trying to hide them. He's not trying to.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I enter. I say look safe.
And then
He says it looks safe. I walk in.
I look at my half-elf friend and say, "See, not everything's out to kill us."
Don't speak
And
too
I
soon.
enter.
Is there a note on the desk?
Oh,
Yeah.
like
When you
books.
get to the desk, you see like an old there's like a toolbox here, and then a few books.
Can I take a look at these books? See what they're about.
Sure. You look at the books, and it's There are various books on the same subject. Like this first book says "Trap Making for Dummies." 105 best traps to wow your friends. And then this book here just says best traps of Brayand.
I kind of take up the mantle, and I'm scanning the room for anything big and numbered like Pearl was.
Okay, do an investigation check.
I join in the. That's the first one.
It's not a nat 1. That was a 2. I have a -1 on my
Yeah.
int.
I definitely
Okay.
I definitely look around the room also to see if I spot something with a number or something similar.
I'll do the same.
Okay.
There's aura.
And then so I'm not gonna make you roll for this one, Liz.
Okay.
With your keen eyes, and with Gust's attempt to also have keen eyes, but not quite succeeding, you don't see any pearl or anything like that around here.
Okay.
At least not in an obvious location.
Can I do investigate this bed down in this corner? See if
Sure.
there's anything going on with it.
Yeah. As you get to the bed, there's you don't. It looks just like a normal bed. It's got a little bedside table here to the side, a lit candle. The bed's all made, and there's nothing that seems out of the ordinary here.
I look at my dwarven friend and say, "Are you gonna move that too?"
Well, I mean, you guys seem to have a lot smarter than me, so I was thinking of just, laying down and recouping my strength for the next strength trial.
Of course. Makes sense.
So
I kind of stroke my chin like, sure, lazy.
So I go and lay in the bed.
Liz's attention is put into the mirrors.
Okay. And you look at the mirrors, and what would you like to do with the mirrors?
I would like to. I'm kind of like waiting, as I knew. Genian was checking on the note, so I'm kind of like moving towards the mirrors, but I'm gonna wait for him to like see what the note kind of like.
Oh, they're just trap tutorials.
But there's no note
okay.
then.
No.
I kind of sit down, cross my legs on the rug, and say, "I'll leave this to you guys," and just start playing my flute, like a soothing, mellow tone.
Okay. And Liz, as all of this is happening, you're kind of like inching a little bit closer to the mirrors, and something seems very off. It's not like a mirror that you would normally look into. When you look into a mirror, you expect it to mirror your movements. Like if you raise your right hand would raise. But in this mirror, it's the opposite.
Both of them?
If you raise, both mirrors have the same sort of quality to it, where like, and maybe you would even test this. You would raise your right hand, and in the mirror, it would be like your left hand would raise. It doesn't mirror you exactly. It seems reversed.
Let me try standing in front of one mirror, and you stand in front of the other. See if that does anything.
Okay.
And as Ham gets in front of the mirror too, you notice the exact same thing. It's when Ham looking into the mirror sees Ham, but doing the exact reversed form of whatever movements he's making.
Can I carefully like touch these mirrors, see if they can be moved to face each other, maybe?
Sure. Make a strength check.
Well,
okay. You approach the mirror and try to turn it, but it looks like the stone is the stone of the mirror at the base of it seems like it's built into or attached very. It seems like it's a part of the floor.
So it's not
It
me.
doesn't
It's not
budge.
me
It
being
doesn't-
weak. Is the actual mirror is not movable. I look at
Do it.
Ham, and I tell him, "You rest enough? You want to try?"
I kind of turn my back, give a little stretch out my arms, and say, "Move aside."
I indeed move aside.
And I take my place, and then I see if I can move the mirror.
Okay, make a strength check.
Oh shit, he is strong, huh?
Okay.
Move
With
to a
all of
strong-
your strength, you grip the stone of like the size of this mirror, and your muscles tense up, and you're trying to twist it, and you feel like if this stone was all you saw here, you would for sure be able to twist this, but it feels like the stone attached to the mirror goes so much deeper into the floor that it just can't be moved. It's very much fixed into that one spot.
I tell the group, well, I put everything I had into this one, and this thing is not going to move.
This whole time I've been playing my flute and watching what's been going on. I definitely would I pick up the reverse movement from where I'm sitting and watching?
If you can see into the mirror, like it would be hard to perceive if it weren't your own movements. Because that would be like the most uncanny part. If you can see the mirror from where you are, you can definitely see like your own movements in the mirror are reversed. But like
Well,
somebody
no one
else's
else's.
body, you don't have that same kind of connection.
I kind of stop what I'm playing and I look up group and I say, what if the room is reversed and when we look into mirror we see what the room actually is and we're not where we're supposed to be? Like trying to like lead to the puzzle is in the mirror, as in the mirror shows us what's actually there versus what we see.
Can we see anything in the mirror that's not present in the room that we can actually see?
Maybe we start picking stuff up and putting them in front of the mirrors to see if anything looks different in front of the mirrors. So like the notes, the buckets.
Yeah. Gideon, when you look into the mirror, you don't notice anything off. It looks like the same exact room behind you, just kind of like the chairs. It's really just your movement that's being reflected, but everything's accounted for as you like kind of look into the mirror and like survey the room from different angles.
Hmm.
Well, maybe we're gonna have to get something from a different room and bring it back here.
It looks like it.
Maybe we just try to move on, see if that door looks.
We haven't
Like
even
we should
checked
go
the
through it?
door. Can I check this door to see what I can, if it's open, if it feels, if I feel
Yeah,
any mechanism?
do an investigation check. Okay. As you get close, here, let me start this music back up. As you get close to the door, you're looking at it, you're kind of examining it for traps, and sure enough, you see a very thin metal wire running up the side of the door.
Does it look like? Can I tell it's from a trap?
It looks like trap wiring.
Okay, I immediately jumped backwards and said, "This one is trapped." I assume it's related to the mirrors.
I look at the man. Can you disarm it?
Can try to trigger it with my arrows. If we step backwards. Can we like?
I kind of shrug and saying, "I'm staying right here. Do what you got to do." Like,
I definitely move where kind of like at the entrance of the door, and I get ready to take a shot at the wire.
Okay, so this wire is very thin, and you know that you're gonna have a difficult time trying to hit it. But go ahead and make an attack roll.
All right. Fuck my ass.
Oh.
And, you shoot your crossbow, and it misses the wire, and it kind of bounces off the wall and falls to the floor.
Uh,
I kind of look at Liz and say, pull out my crossbow. Want me to give it a shot?
sure. I'm really ashamed, by the way.
I pull out Grail's crossbow, and everyone can immediately see this is the silver ornate crossbow. And I kind of look out, smile, and give it a kiss because it's like my lucky thing. And I stand a little bit ahead of Liz, and I take a shot.
Okay, make an attack roll. And same situation. The wire's so thin. You're trying to hit an arrow point on like an almost invisible line of wire. It's got to be a really good shot. The crossbow bolt hits the door frame here and kind of sticks into the wood.
Is the wire attached to anything? Is it like attached to the doorknob? Does it go into the floor? Step forward a little bit.
Liz would have noticed that it's running from the top of the frame to the bottom, and it goes into the stone and kind of disappears. Same at the ceiling.
It has to be attached with the mirrors.
I kind of like I kind of get a little frustrated. I pull out my dagger and I throw it at the wire like I did back in the bar.
Okay, go ahead and roll a dagger attack at disadvantage, just because you're trying to hit a point on a point, and you don't have as much control over the dagger as you would the crossbow for aiming.
Oh, why is it disadvantaged? Oh,
That dagger is gonna break.
So you throw the dagger, and it clings around like wildly around the wire. You notice the hilt even bumps the wire, and you would maybe like even hold your breath for a moment in anticipation as the dagger kind of just clings around here and drops onto the stone right in front of the door.
I kind of do like my pity shame walk over, pick up my dagger and arrow, and just go back to playing my flute, not saying a bloody word.
Okay, I want to like crouch around this corner and take my quarterstaff, just kind of reach at the wire and try to
Oh shit.
drag it to the side.
You're moving the
Catch it
wire.
with my staff.
You're trying to. What are you trying to do?
He's trying to trigger it.
Okay. So as you hit this wire,
He
make a dexterity save.
Guys, I got this.
Fine, 1 second here. As you hit this wire, a bunch of like burning coals fall from the ceiling. And Arxie, you're gonna take 15 fire damage. And as this happens, this floor here is all like coated and burning like brimstone and coal, and it's still actively on fire. Like, let's see what happened here. You didn't have a lot of
Wait.
health.
So is that 19 fire damage halved?
Yes. So that would be actually, never mind. That would be 10 damage.
Okay, that's still one more than I have.
Okay, so this coal is all falling from the ceiling, and Genia gets knocked unconscious and is kind of like laying in a pool of these. And it's this square, this square, this square,
I
and
cannot
this
see
square.
the squares.
Yeah, I can't see the pings either.
You can't see the P. Oh, I'm on a different layer. My bad. Let's go over here.
I had to do a work thing. What happened in the last 5 minutes?
He triggered the trap and he killed himself. Pretty much, he's like unconscious.
Holy shit, Molly.
Okay, so it's this square, this square, this square, and this square is all like piles of burning coals and brimstone that have been dropped from the ceiling.
I noticed.
And Gideon, yeah.
I noticed that he's like basically burning alive. And I quickly run and I ask for help. Help me, guys! And I try to drag him off the fire.
Okay, make a strength check with advantage because you're getting the help from the rest of the group.
Oh my god.
Okay. And the three of you combine. You try for a second, and you're trying to pull him out. He's pretty buried, but as the rest of the group joins in and helps, you're able to like pull him out.
Slightly. Can he?
Oh, quiet's muted. Also, give me guys. I'm sorry. Give me like 30 seconds.
No worries.
Sorry, I was muted. I cast Healing Word on to our druid friend to heal him up. So that's fine.
How does that work? If you're like 0 HP, you can get healed? Do you have to make a save death roll? How does this work?
I'm not sure how he wants to do it with the injuries.
Holy shit.
If it's default, like you should just like you get your HP for it, right? So
Let's just wait for vision. I'll update some people just joined the stream, so I'll update them to what just happened.
yeah, no problem.
Alright guys, so we've been doing the trials to join the Adventurers Guild. We've so far have gone through different rooms and we found gems.
All right,
and we need 3 gems. And right now one of our party members has been knocked down because he triggered a trap.
And for the record, I'm not afraid of sand McMagic.
So we pull him out, right? At the end. So maybe move.
Yeah.
By the way, I healed him for 5 with Healing Word. So how do you want to do the since he's down and out kind of thing?
Gideon, you can come back to 4 health.
Okay. All right.
And Gust your magic. How do you cast your healing word? What does Gust do when he's casting it?
All the group sees is me pull out my flute, riff a quick tune, and me with a little smirk. And there's like magical notes going towards.
Can you sound out the tune? Can you whistle it? Oh, good job.
I can't hear. What? Sorry.
Okay.
That's all you get. And these magic notes go and like kind of hug our druid friend, and then pop, and he feels a little rejuvenated.
Okay, yeah, and as you do that, like a very warm healing glow kind of goes over the body of the your collapsed party member, and he's brought back to consciousness. His clothing is slightly burnt, but he is very much alive.
I get pretty serious and I look at the party and I look especially at Gideon. I said, from now on, we check every door and every corner. This is no joke, and we need to pass.
I just nod and look at the druid friend and say, feel a little better?
I mean, we did check that door. And we tried to grab it.
Yeah, well, if we see a trap, let's not do this again. I think we should leave this room for the moment.
I definitely want to do like, now that like the druid is kind of like walking back away from the door, I want to like look like at a distance to like the fire everywhere, seeing if there's like a way around it or like make it disappear.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, never mind. Wait,
Yeah,
there's buckets in here.
Are there water
there's
in the
buckets.
There is water in the other room.
Hey,
It's water.
let's do it.
I'd still like to investigate.
I don't
just
think.
to be
Without saying a word, I go and I grab one of the buckets and I start walking into the water room. I expect the others to follow me.
Yeah, I'll grab
Yeah.
a bucket too.
I
Can
don't.
grab one.
I'm
Gus-
definitely staying.
Yeah, Gust, while you're looking back too, you're looking at the coals on the ground, and it doesn't even seem like they look like they are not going to burn out anytime soon. They're just laying here in like piles of like rough flooring, like just piles of these coals. They continue to burn.
I grab a bit of water and I walk back to.
Yeah.
I look in the mirrors to see how the coals and the fire is interacting with the mirrors. See if there's anything different about them.
I throw.
Nothing seems off about them.
All right, we're throwing the
We're
water
throwing
on
the
the
water
fire.
into the brainstorm thing.
I just
Okay.
shrug and say, "Go for it."
The three of you throw your water onto the closest tiles here,
Yeah.
and the coals burn out, but still one tile remains in front of the door, still on fire.
I guess.
The water you brought with you in the bucket was just enough to douse a 5x5 area of this
Oh, all
burning
right,
ground.
Well, we don't need to say anything.
Some more water.
We go. We do a second trip, right? And we try
Yep,
to put
second
out
trip.
the remaining water.
Another
Absolutely.
one.
Okay,
I just
and as you toss
I just
the water,
I kind of giggle and I come up in behind my druid friend who still seems a little off, and I'm just like I pat him on the back and use cure wounds.
Oh,
That was perfect. I'm full now. Thank you.
and as the water from the buckets hit the last tile of the floor, the burning seems to have subsided.
okay. Can we now check on this door and see if it can be opened safely?
said
You
that's
as you
your
get
job.
close, you notice the wire is still there.
Oh my god!
Ah, son of a...
This wire. Okay, guys, we definitely need to solve this, and it's not gonna be solved if we don't do it the way they want us to solve it. It seems that everything in this dungeon is being put with a purpose.
All right, we
We
need to
might-
search everything.
Yeah.
I look under the rug I've been sitting on the whole time.
As you lift the rug, you just see more of the stone underneath, nothing out of the ordinary.
I look over at the other rug and say, "We got a table and chairs to move, Mr. Dwarf."
All right, I'm on it.
Okay.
So I
As
start-
all this is going on, too, Liz, I will say, you're not sure, but you look up at the ceiling and there's a bunch of like, it looks like trap doors that opened and dumped the coals in. Those
Okay.
no, this is what happened earlier. The doors are still hanging there.
So the door that dropped the brimstone is open.
Yeah, you can be sure there's no more brimstone coming from the ceiling.
Okay. Guys,
Even though the wire is still here, like nothing else. It doesn't look like anything else can come from the ceiling.
I am for sure there's no more brimstone. Yeah.
If you're sure, I'll go ahead and open the door because I trust you.
I'm like, I still want to hang back for safety, just because the wire, look what it did to us before.
Sure. Go for it.
All right, I'm going up and I open the door.
Okay, and as you turn the doorknob, you hear a clicking
Oh,
coming from the wall inside of you, or from the wall beside you, but nothing seems to happen.
I guess the clicking was from the original trap. Keep opening.
Okay.
yeah, door's open.
I'm like,
And,
what do you see, Dwarven man?
As you open the door, more candlelight seems to flood in
Oh my god.
from the crack.
If only I hit my arrow with +7 to hit.
Let's not talk about my dagger, my arrow, like, you know what I mean?
Oh, books.
To be fair, that was very hard to hit. It was a thin wire, like just twine.
I guess.
Okay, so as you open this door, you see a bunch of tables. The flooring is very nice, like marble tiles, different colored stone
Christians.
tiles. There's an assortment of tables with like books laying on them. Each one has candlelight. There's bookshelves all around the room with like an old desk sitting at the very base of the room.
Is it safe to enter? Do we feel if the floor has like some like trap floor or something? Or
You can make an investigation check.
well, I certainly don't notice. Sorry by that then.
I would like to know if I see anything numbered.
Nothing seems. You don't see anything at first glance, and the flooring looks pretty normal to you.
I guess we enter the room slowly.
Alright, I'll start walking in.
I look over at the other two after you and give a bow.
I'm not sure I like the change of the color of the floor, so I'm gonna investigate to see it, right? See if there's anything that's off about the different colors.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Nice.
Okay, you get down on your hands and knees, and you're looking really close at these tiles, and you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. You would assume that this was just whoever built this room. This was a design choice. It seems like just different colors of stone to make a checkered pattern across the floor.
Alright, I'll walk on it.
And nothing happens.
I kind of enter and I start scanning the bookshelves, seeing if I can like find any book out of place from the rest.
So this one bookshelf directly south of us is all by itself. It seems kind of stands out a little to me.
I look at my friend and go, "You go check that out. There's many more bookshelves. Never know what we can find."
I'll walk down here.
I go back to the trap room and I grab the trap books.
Okay. All right. So
All of
Gust,
them.
what are you look? All right. And as Liz is doing that, Gust, what are you looking at specifically?
I'm seeing.
Are
if
you
there's, like,
approaching
any
the
that-
bookshelves?
Yeah. I'm like kind of walking along all the bookshelves, looking for like any books that, like, if there's a theme, there's a book out of place or missing slots. Like, I'm looking at any discrepancies.
Okay. As you get close to the bookshelf and start looking, you don't notice there's no missing books. The bookshelves are pretty packed. But as you get close to the bookshelf, you start hearing whispering. It sounds like there's maybe about like 20 to 30 other voices like whispering from all around the room behind you. And as you're like getting real close and investigating this book, you see out of the corner of your eye like a spectral hand reach forward and grab a book from the shelf. But they're not really holding a book. It's just like the hand motion, like something grabs a book. And as you turn to look around, you see just like a bunch of ghostly figures like sitting at different tables. Some are walking up and down the hallway, like coming from this room. Some turn and leave into this room. Some of the figures like will approach this desk and then leave. And then you notice like some of the figures are also like walking into the walls over here and disappearing, walking into the walls down here, disappearing. But it generally just seems like apparitions of figures that are doing normal library things.
Does it look like a loop or like a routine that keeps playing over and over again?
You watch for a little bit of time, and it seems like just it's not a loop. It looks like people just going about their business.
I'd like to do a test, and at the nearest spirit where I'm standing, I try to see if I can interact with it by like saying, "Hello, how are you doing today?" and I give it a proper bow.
Okay, and and as you speak to it, it doesn't seem to notice you. It carries on with whatever it was doing, grabbing a book, and then most likely taking a seat at this table and like doing the motions of opening a book and kind of like leafing through the pages.
I look at a group. I'm saying, "Well, I couldn't spot any patterns to give us a hint to if there's any puzzles in here, but the spirits are sure enjoying their afterlife."
At this point, Liz enters the room with the books, and I said, "Library, books. Maybe these are the key for this room." And he starts scouting for any of the libraries are called, like these things that might be missing a couple books or something.
I look at my buddy Liz and said, "Already did that. Didn't see anything missing."
Bookshelves, yeah.
Yeah, so as you walk along you're kind of walking along the wall, you see the same thing.
Nothing missing.
All the bookshelves seem pretty packed.
I leave the books in one of the tables, and I start examining the tables. Is there anything on top of the tables that might look useful?
You don't notice. It just looks like this is. There's just books, just random books. No particular subject, just varying, like fiction, nonfiction. There's no patterns here. It looks like this was just a library that is now vacant in its state now, but nothing seems off about the tables. It all just seems like a perfectly normal library.
I turn around
Outside of the ghosts, obviously.
Yeah, I turn around to the books behind me, and I just start going in. I just start grabbing each book and pulling it back like I'm looking for a switch, and I just start going through all the books.
Okay,
I start copying. I do the same on the other side of the room. Start taking books out.
Okay, and as you're doing this, like you reach in, you pull a book out, and let go, and it pops back into its place, like gravity pulling it back into the shelf, and like you're stirring up dust. It's very obvious these books have not been touched in a long time. And you make your way through these shelves, and as you're going, like you're spending a lot of time on this, and nothing seems to be happening.
So we pull out the books, and the books go back in?
It's kind of just like the weight of the book. Like imagine you grab the spine of the book, you pull it out and look for a trap, and as you let go, it falls back into place. It's just the weight.
I see.
I look at the other two. Want to check the other door?
I guess.
Ham, what are you doing?
I was gonna check this weird bookshelf. This bookshelf that's separate from the rest of them. To see if there's anything special about it.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
I know how these have been turning out.
Hey.
Hey.
Okay, and as you're down here, this bookshelf looks. You're up here real close, and it looks the exact. You kind of like will glance over your shoulder and look at the rest of the room, and it looks very much like all of the rest of the bookshelves. But since this one seems isolated and you seem to be a little suspicious, you give it a bit of a closer look. And as you're over here, like looking at the bookshelf, you notice this torch looks like it has a hinge at the base of it.
Ooh.
I call out to everyone. I think this torch is a switch of some kind. Let's check. Can you check to see if it's a trap or if the other torches in the room are also?
I kind of, as
switches?
he calls that out, I acknowledge it, but I also keep my distance because I don't want another fire trap.
Yeah,
I guess I go to check it since
I'll back off.
kind of like what I do.
Okay. Go ahead and what are you checking this torch to see if it's trapped?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check. Okay. As you're looking at this torch, you don't notice anything that you would normally associate with traps. No weird wires. The way the hinge is designed, it kind of looks like the same kind of mechanical traction of what a lever would be.
Seems safe to me. Shall we try?
Pull it.
All right, someone
Uh,
else's turn.
I guess I I guess I start pulling it really, really slow to see if it makes
Okay.
any sound or any mechanism or something.
All right, you go to pull the torch, and it's kind of stuck, like it's almost rusted into place. But you're finally like you pull on it, and jiggle on the handle some, and like flakes of rust drop off before finally you pull the lever, like the torch fully like a lever, like to the farthest it will extend, and you hear a rumbling sound. I assume you're standing here.
Yeah.
You hear a rumbling sound, very much like you heard in the first room, as this wall kind of parts and reveals like an old, dusty, cobweb-filled hallway.
Where is the hallway?
It is right in front of you, and we
Here?
reveal this. Yep,
Okay.
and it opens up another room. Torchlight floods through the hallway, shining through the cobwebs. And you see a very pristine, like marble floor. This room is, even though the hallway was filled with cobwebs,
Uh-huh.
this room seems like it's almost cleaned on a daily basis. And still, bookshelves line the walls. And there's a rock sitting in the middle of the floor on top of a very fancy rug.
Uh-huh.
And on top of the rock is a blue sapphire, about the size of a softball.
I make my way in really carefully, making sure that there's no moving sand, no moving rocks, etc. And I walk
Yeah.
in.
And as you get into the room a bit further, you see a number 2 painted on the sapphire.
I look at the group. Well, it looks like we found number 2. And I make a signal for them to like come in.
I'll chill here.
I make the assessment. We need to find something of equal weight. Maybe we could go back and get a rough estimate on the pearl and use books. I don't know.
Can I, with my perception, can I like get an estimate of how much weight do we need to compensate for the gem?
When you look at the rock, there's no sort of... It's just sitting right on top of the rock. There's no indent that would lead you to believe there's like a pressure plate here.
Can I just like try to grab it really slowly?
Sure. So you reach out and you pick up the sapphire, and you hold it in your hand, and nothing seems to happen.
I kind of look at the group. I look at the dude blocking the door and saying, "I don't want to be in here."
Yeah, let's get out of here. I grab the gem and we get in.
And as we entered to a room that we perceived to be safe, I look back and say, "Well, put it with the pearl. See if it goes to 2 or 3. Maybe
Sure.
it adds."
I said I'll be right back, and I walk my way into the original.
I follow him 100%.
Okay.
I'm curious.
Yeah, come.
Leave the gem on the room, and we check
Check the statues.
the statues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you enter the room, the engraving on the statues changes to a 2/3.
Nice.
Yeah, I look and said, "Well, it doesn't add, unfortunately. Would have been nice to be done after 2."
I guess we keep going then.
There's another door in the library.
Let's go check. I go back to the
still hang
library
back.
door.
I hang back and look at Liz and say, "Do your work, trap master." And I
Sure.
kind of like give him finger guns.
I'll go and check on this door this time. Another door to check.
Okay. As you get to this door, you don't notice any of the same kind of mechanisms that you've seen up to this point. It looks very much just like a normal door.
Can I proceed to open it?
Sure.
Okay.
So as you open the door, more sand seems to kind of like blows in through the crack as you open it fully.
Is it like
And
a stampede kind of sand that would scare me, or more like kind of like
it's
very gently gets in?
it's very coarse sand, but it's kind of just like blowing in with like a breeze. It's
Okay.
very light moving.
Okay. So I look at the sand and I said, I hate sand. And I step forward.
Okay. And as you open the door, bright sun. You don't know how this is happening, but it seems like there's sun like shining into the room, even though like up to this point you've mostly been enclosed. And you see like dunes of sand kind of like shifting around in the wind. I mean, as you're walking, the first thing you would notice is like this sewer. There's like water draining from the wall over here into a grate with like real dirty looking like stone surrounding it. And looking around the rest of the room, you see two statues sitting at the side of the sewers. Random assortment of palm trees, like desert brush, laying around the room. And then four statues, different sizes, with chains attached to the base. There's a small, a bigger, and then an even bigger, and then one that just completely towers over you. And as you kind of crane your neck to look up the height of the statue, you see for sure now it doesn't seem like there's a roof here. And like the desert, like a desert sun is beating down on you.
I make sure that when I enter this new room slash desert, I stay under one of the palm trees, kind of like hiding from the sun. And I look at these statues, and they look pretty foreign to me. I don't really know. Guys,
I just yell out, "Is there any traps?" Like I'm still hanging back.
I make sure to check if the sand around the area seems safe for.
You don't notice the sand seems it's being pushed around by wind, so it'd be really hard to like notice anything that seems strange. But from back here looking around, it all looks pretty stable.
Do I notice if there's something in the regarding the sand around the statues?
Yeah, so you would notice that the sand is blowing over it, but it looks like the statues have been dragged. Like
Okay.
dragged through the sand a bit, and now like the wind is kind of like blowing sand back into where the statues have been pulled through.
Okay. 4 statues, 4 members, and we gotta drag them. Seems like a puzzle.
Sense to me.
What about the sewer grate though? Like, there's the 2 statues by the door, right? What if we drag them and it triggers a trap when really there's something else afoot here?
Can I get close to the sewer to check on it?
Yeah, as you get close, there's like water rushing in through a grate in the wall here, and you can actually kind of see into this.
So the water
room.
comes from here, yeah?
Yeah, you can actually kind of like peer into this room a little bit, and you see. Here, I'm trying to clear this out. Yeah, here we go. There we go. You see that water is like rushing in, like from. It looks like it's being channeled through this. Like it's like a sewer grate here. And it's being like channeled in by some stone walls, and it's like rushing through to this grate. And you try to look down the grate, and you don't see a bottom. It's just dark all the way down.
Okay. So there's water coming in, but I'm pretty certain the statues have to be moved. And
I take. I
Can we just can I investigate or look closely at the small one right here? See if there's
Sure.
anything.
Yeah, as you get close to the statue, you don't notice. You don't know what the statues are from. You've never seen anything like this. You do notice there's like a golden plate, though. It's like some old figures sitting on like a throne, and at the base of the throne's like a gold plating, and it just says strength.
well, this is a strength trial.
I look down at the dwarf and say, "Let's start with the biggest one. Let's all push it together."
I wonder if this is what I kind of like laugh. Stop. It would be too easy.
I look
mean,
and say, "It's been relatively easy so far." For
So
once, it can be.
tell that to our dragon friend.
And then I ask.
Can I
the
investigate?
group-
What do you?
I got a feeling that there's something wrong if we try to move the statue. Is there anything that would like make it seem like the statues have to be moved at the same time? I'm kind of like getting that intuition. I don't know if there's any clue, visual clue, or any that would suggest that.
I mean, even if we're supposed to move them, where are we moving them to?
Well,
Probably
we follow like
back
the drag,
to
right?
the beginning of their paths.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than the engravings on the statues, nothing. There's the engraving. Each one of these has the word strength at the bottom, and then they all have chains attached. The chains are different sizes, obviously, based on like this is not gonna. This big statue at the top does not have a thin chain. This is like big. It's a big, thick chain, like made to be like. If you were to try to pull the weight of this chain is thick enough to support it. But other than that, it all looks like nothing too out of the ordinary. It looks like somebody came through here and dragged these at a little bit earlier, maybe.
This
I look at.
this reminds me of something.
I'm like, oh.
I did a trial once. It had a similar test. Who's the strongest here? And I look at Ham.
Do you even have to ask?
We all look at Ham, but I do offer my assistance with Ham on the biggest one.
I kind of like I kind of like want to impose myself
Okay,
here.
so. Okay.
And I go like, okay, Ham, you take the big one. I look at Gust and I said, well, you take the small one.
I shrug and I walk over and I start doing the thing with the small one.
And
Well, we should all try pulling at the same time.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
And I'll let you know if I'm capable. Like, we'll see kind of if we can feel like we can make them move by ourselves, and if we can, we'll pull them at the same time.
I look at everyone in party and I'm just gonna sit and I just kind of be very blunt about it. I'm not the strongest. I'm a performer. Me even pushing this one doesn't seem possible.
It might just be trying to deceive us. They might not be nearly as heavy as they look.
Ganian, how strong are you?
I'm all right. I got a 12 for strength.
Right, you can take the middle one. Sorry, the second tiniest, and I take this one.
Okay.
Let's try to move it when I say 3.
Well, we're all gotta roll strength rolls, I bet.
Athletics, maybe?
Yeah, as you kind of command out for everybody to pull at the same time, everyone make a strength check.
Yikes.
Oh,
Pretty
baby.
good.
Oh! Oh, baby.
All right, so Gus,
Boggers.
even for your small stature, this that statue is very heavy, but you are able to move it, and you drag it through the sand a bit more, extending the trail left behind it. This time, where you've dragged it, it shows a bit fresher in the sand, as the wind hasn't been able to like blow in more and kind of cover up the gap here. And Genia, and you're also able to pull yours a little bit. You can't pull it quite as fast as Gus did his. But you can definitely move this. You've moved it. You drag it out a bit further. And same situation where the trail behind the statue kind of extends a bit. And Liz, as you pull yours, the statue doesn't seem to budge. It's way too heavy for you. The statue is probably about twice your height, you notice, as you get close to it. And it's made of... the material it's made of feels very solid. And Ham, as you grab the big chain, taking both sides of the chain within your hands, you look up at the statue and notice that it's probably about 5 to 6 times the height of everyone else in your group. It towers over you, and you try to pull your statue, and it does not even move an eighth of an inch. And other than that, nothing seems to happen.
I look at Liz and say, like I said, we all need to push the big one.
Okay, I'm going to step back from my statue.
Huh.
Does it stay in place?
Yeah, it stays exactly where you left it.
So we
Okay.
could try group pooling these ones that didn't move at all. My other thought is that small one looks like it's about the same size as the drain. Maybe we could pool that into the drain.
I kind of look at his suggestion, and they can see I'm visibly sweating and like kind of panted a bit. Like, you do it.
Let's try to move the big one. If we cannot move it, we'll need to think
Alright.
about something else anyway.
All right, let's.
I'm basically defeated. I was really waiting for this to work out, and once again, I feel like I failed. That's bad, man.
No, I kind of look at Liz, and I kind of like on the like while I'm walking by him to the big one, kind of pump him in the arm like a good pal moment, kind of saying, "Buck up, man. Everyone messes up," and give him a big smile.
Fuck. That was my big leadership moment. Rip. All right, let's
All
try.
right, so as each of you... Genny...
Yeah, we're all pushing.
I'll pull.
Okay. So, Liz and Ham and Gus all grab onto the chain in the front, and Gideon stands in the back. Looks like he tries to push the statue. Each of you 4 make another strength check.
I'm just exhausted at this
0.
point.
0. I literally
Oh no!
don't even help you. I am a detriment.
You're
I got
dead.
another 17. Wow.
That healing spell is just doing work on your physique right now.
Fuck. Is the statue moving at all?
Okay. Even with all of your strength combined, you all struggle. Genion's standing at the back, like almost his elbows ready to buckle as he puts all of his strength into this. And Gus, already out of breath, like heaving, like trying to get like air into his tiny little lungs, pulling on the the chain. Liz and Ham, even with their martial prowess and strength from training, all 4 of you combined are not able. The statue just does not budge at all.
First nat 1 of the session, by the way. I look at the group, say,
No, you had 2 already. You had 2.
No, I didn't have 2.
No?
One
No.
was a -1. It was a 2.
Yeah, one was a 2. The other one, that was the first one. But I look at the group completely out of breath, like kind of in the sand, like we should do the one that Liz forgot to move because this ain't going nowhere.
So
And I just kind of like collapse into the sand.
At this point, I'm feeling kind of like desperate. I look around trying to desperately look for any clue.
What would you like to look for? Where are you looking?
Anything that connects the dots? Anything that I haven't noticed yet?
well, can we investigate these 2?
Just Just something
Statues
that
on the
we might miss at plain sight, you know, just like something that we just haven't checked.
Everything seems as it did when you walked in. Just the same plant life, statues. Nothing really catches your eye.
Is the volume of
And
the water the same, even though we move the statues a bit?
yes, it's all like flowing from the next room over into the sewer. It's getting drained pretty quickly. And Ham, as you walk up to the statue, the smaller one, you see the same symbol at the bottom. It says strength.
I'm still like in the sand next to the second biggest one that wasn't moved yet, and still say, I think all of us could do this one.
All right, let's go. I listened to the small one. He's kind of like cheering me up, seeing him so enthusiastic. Let's try to
So
move
we
that one.
try to pull this one.
Yeah, so you're all pulling together.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody make strength checks. Okay, with all of your might combined, you're able to like start quickly dragging the statue through the sand, leaving a trail
Ah.
behind it as it moves.
Buggers. Is anything changing in the room while we do this?
Just the sand is shifting around the statue. Everything else remains the same.
Good.
I look at the group and I kind of say, now that we moved it, we should check their original locations and dig, see if there's anything under them.
Sure.
Start with the one we just moved, I guess. It's the biggest one. Maybe it's got the best stuff.
Maybe the
we
big
can
one
move.
loosen up now. I don't know. Shall we give it another try? Final try?
I still say,
Let's dig first.
Okay, let's
I
dig.
need a break. Like after that last pull on the second largest one, like you could see Gust, like he's not even digging. He comes over and he kind of just like sits in the water and kind of like cools off and lays there like he's like he just needs a break. Like I'm just like kind of in the water.
Gust is laying down, letting the dirty green brown water wash over him
Yep.
as he tries to cool off and get a brief break from all of the exertion.
All right, I dig behind this one, where it was. See if there's
Okay.
anything under the sand.
I do this one, I guess.
All right. As you guys get down on the sand, you start digging, running your fingers through the sand, the hot sand. You keep digging and digging, and you find more and more sand. And as you dig, the wind blows more sand back into the hole as you're going. But
I
you keep
stop
going
digging.
as far as you can.
This is futile.
Yeah, stop digging. Last push, guys.
I look at the group, and as I'm laying there, I'm looking down the sewer pipe, and I'm seeing if I can see anything, like if the bars are loose, anything down the sewer pipe here. Like I'm looking over here, seeing if there's any weaknesses or anything that I'm missing.
Sure, you gonna walk over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my sorry ass up and walk over here and like just scan it as hard as I can.
Okay, you're looking into the room now. And you can see a bit further back. You can see... let's see here. This is what you can see. There's water pouring in from more grates on the side of the room. And there's a doorway all the way at the back that you can see from across the hall. And you're looking at the sewer grate here. And it seems like there's... the sewer grate can be moved. It looks like it's built into tracks on the side of the wall.
I call the dwarf over and say, "Pull this, move it."
But I'll come over and look. Is the amount of water that's coming through enough that if I pull this thing, I like risk getting like engulfed in water?
You're gonna be standing in water up to your knees, but the water can already flow freely through this, so you're not
Okay.
gonna let in any more water.
All right.
But
So I'm not.
it's gonna be pretty deep.
All right. I'll try to pull this thing or break it down.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check. Okay, and you put your hands on the bars and you start lifting and shaking the bars. You can hear like flakes of rust like dropping from the sides of the bars as it tries to like as you try to like work it back up through the tracks. You try to lift this thing, and it almost moves, but you just don't quite have the power to move it the rest of the way, like up into the wall above it.
Well, no luck. Sorry, guys.
I look and say, what if multiple people lifted it at the same time and I crawl under through to get to the other side and try to find a switch?
Is that okay?
So you're gonna like swim under? Because
Yeah,
the water will be
I-
high enough where you gotta like swim probably.
Yeah. Basically, I just need enough gap to get under and through.
I'm kind of like sitting there, like I don't really feel like doing this. I feel I'm really stubborn on that the solution is on the big statue. I don't know why. It's like a strength check.
I turn around and look at Liz and I say, look, man, we could try and sit here and figure out how to move that big thing. Or maybe there's a switch on the other side and we could just ignore it.
I kind of like silently move towards the group to help, but I'm definitely not happy about it. I really want to pass.
Okay, this corridor is so narrow that not everybody will be able to fit into the opening to help Ham, but maybe one other person.
I guess me.
What-
Since I have this
What's your strength?
13.
Is it okay? It's still +1. Yeah.
I mean, you can try. It's okay. You can try.
So I want to make a point vision. If they get enough gap, as soon as like there's enough space, I just go for it. Like I don't even hesitate. If it happens.
Ham and Genian.
Okay, so the hallway is very narrow, but you're able to like reach through and get one hand on the bar, and so most of this weight here is going to be most of the check here is going to be from Ham. So Ham, go ahead and roll a strength check with advantage from having the extra helping hand from Genian.
Okay. Strength with advantage. And
Okay, and then the bars shake a little bit and move in the track, but it's just not you're not able to lift it. It starts to move up and then kind of jams a bit, but not enough for somebody to crawl through.
alright, I get annoyed because I feel like I'm letting the team down because this is clearly a strength room and nothing is going well.
I look around and I can kind of see everybody's visibly upset, and I, as the group kind of knows, I started up a performance. Say, here, everybody, gather around. For today, I got a joke all around. For the party of 3, we got a trial to thee. Just cheer up and smile just for me.
All right, go ahead and roll a performance check. All right, and it's not the best performance you've ever seen,
It's
but
definitely not.
but hey, you guys have all been through a lot today, and these trials have really pushed you, and it's nice to like get a bit of a break from like all of this intense focus and just a lot of trial and error, and you all feel slightly inspired by Gust's flute playing.
Thank you.
So
Redlin.
all of you get
Thank you.
inspiration.
Ooh, poggers.
Including me.
Yes, you are inspired by your ability to not make a lot of mistakes in front of your friends.
Pog.
That means we roll with advantage, right?
You get to add an extra 1d6
Okay,
onto any
1d6.
roll.
So now that I'm feeling good again, like, dude, we've moved 3 of those statues.
Let's move the fourth one.
Do we try one last time? Put everything we've got into it for a 4th pool.
Let's go.
See if we can move this thing.
I spin down after that like corny kind of joke, smile, grab the water and splash it on my face and said, and like kind of like flick my arms,
Ew.
like tiny wee arms, and I go, "Let's go."
Okay.
All right, sewer water.
You guys
Let's
can
go.
tell I just don't care.
All right.
It's cool.
As
We're
you
trying.
guys get to the statue, you feel very inspired, but as you get back up close to the statue, you can't help but notice just how tall and how large this thing is.
Nice. I wish I could say the
Okay,
same
maybe we
about.
shouldn't do
Well,
it then.
I kind of look at the group and I'm saying, I believe in you guys, but I don't believe in myself. I'm like, we did move the grate on the sewer. We didn't even budge this fucking thing.
I start
I
counting.
think
I
we
mean,
should start with
I
the
literally
grate.
start counting. 3.
Oh shit! I get ready. I'm like, oh crap! As soon as I hear the timer, I get
2.
ready.
Wait, is inspiration? Can you use that after the roll, or do you have to use it?
You can use it
with or
after.
before the roll.
Yeah,
You can use it after it, just not after I've said what the
Told you.
outcome is.
yeah.
It has to be
So-
before the outcome.
So we have to be quick. Judge off our roll. So if we roll bad, don't use it. If we roll good, use it, kind of thing.
1.
Okay.
Okay, and
Give us the countdown.
one last final push.
Okay.
Liz, are
I
you
use
giving
my
it?
inspiration.
Sorry, I had advantage, so it'd be a 5.
1d6, yeah.
Would I roll again?
No, you just grab the first one. If
Yeah,
Oh,
you always
okay.
pick left, so it's 11.
Uh,
I'm not gonna use mine. I'm
Oh
saying
my
this.
fucking god.
I'm using on the strength. Wait, so how do I roll a 1d6?
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Next to
The dice
your
on the side.
on the side, you're gonna see there's like a dice
Yeah.
thing.
Oh my
It's-
god.
Oh my god, this shit is not moving.
No, it did not fucking move this thing.
Oh my god.
Okay, let's see here. All right, so you're all huddled around the statue, and Liz counts down 3, 2, 1. And everybody, you give it your all. Like, hey, maybe you're even like just a battle cry, letting out a battle cry as you all put every ounce of strength you have left into moving the statue. And as you all strain and your muscles tense and shake, you feel the statue move a very tiny amount, maybe the width of a needle. The statue moves, and you hear the grate behind you lift up, rattle in the metal, and lift into the ceiling.
Wait, we move it.
We did it.
Ooh.
Like,
All because
Guys,
All because
it wasn't
of-
about the physical strength, it was about the strength of friendship.
and the strength of song.
Exactly.
Gust's performance, while not the best you've ever seen, was the fresh drink of water you needed in this desert oasis.
It was about the strength of teamwork, indeed. I am
In honor of
really
you,
disappointed.
Gust. In honor of you, Gust, I'm taking a drink of the sewer water too. I take a sip too to show my pride in Gust.
I am actually disappointed that we passed this way. I'm almost sad we passed, but whatever, I'll take it. I'm
I'm sitting there. I'm just like I'm looking at the group, and I just like I look at everybody, and I just fucking they hear me belch the biggest laugh ever. Like it wasn't even
Holy
funny, but
shit.
I'm losing my mind in this puddle right now, splashing like a baby in the bathtub, howling.
Not like this. Well, I guess we move into the sewer
Yeah,
thingy.
I'm moving in.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm not even looking for traps. I'm so ready to be out of this room that I'm just going in.
Okay. And as you kind of can you see? Oh, never
No.
mind. I didn't reveal it.
No,
Okay.
you made it black, not revealed.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Everything black.
There you go. Now you can see.
I
No.
cannot.
No.
It was better before.
This room is looking like our future.
How about that? Oh my God! What? I swear I'm clicking on reveal.
It's getting worse. Are you in the right layer? Maybe.
There
you
we
go.
go. Victory!
All right. You walk into this room. You wade your way through.
Whoa! There's like holes and shit. Be careful.
There's a bunch of like you
ending
wade your way through this like brown and green, sickly looking water, and it's pouring in through like grates attached to the walls. It's being funneled into that old drainage pipe behind you from the room you just came to or from. You see the same door across the way. As you look around the room, you see more sunlight coming in somehow through the roof, where the rest of this all seems pretty enclosed. But the sunlight's shining down on a very familiar looking stone, but this is emerald, sitting on top of a rock. It's got a number 3 painted on it. It's kind of surrounded by trees here. And on the opposite side of the room, you see the same situation. Some dead trees here and there, but more grates that water's flowing out of and then being funneled into this pipe.
Does it look suspicious?
Which?
I want to see
The room, everything. I'm kind of like looking around.
She's looking around. I'm looking directly at the number 3, seeing if there's anything off about the actual emerald itself.
Not that you can notice. Not from where you're standing.
I'm particularly worried about these things in the floor. What are those?
Those are dead trees. They just don't have leaves. They are
Okay,
away
I
from
see.
the sunlight and kind of just in the darkness here.
I'm so over at the last room that I just see the emerald and I just take it.
Oh my god, we've been through this. Well, yoink.
Okay. So as this is happening, Genian and Liz, you hear movement coming from your right.
Right. The right of my character? Or
From this
Like
bottom side of the room.
okay.
All right. Everyone roll initiative.
Oh.
Oh, let's set you up first. Here we go. Turn order.
Well, guys. You know how to roll initiative, Magic? It's the next to your armor class.
You click on your
I just-
token, then you hit initiative.
Click on your token first.
Click on your token and then
Oh my god.
initiative like that. Did I do it right?
Oh man.
How do you have 21.16?
It's so if somebody rolls the same amount,
It's
it's
a
just
dexterity,
his
right?
dexterity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, 20.
Well, I'm definitely the last one.
All right. So let's see. Ham and Dust are caught. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm like, no, I'll let you go.
Okay, so Ham and Gust are caught completely unaware of this, and so they're surprised. But Genian and Liz, you catch this, and so you're prepared for the oncoming combat as you see two frog-like creatures lurking in the back of the room, approaching your party.
Frogs?
They are called, they're like amphibian humanoids, and they're wielding some javelins. They're spears.
Wonka?
Like when they enter
Okay.
the room, do I see it, or am I still just like sitting here like I got the shiny?
You had no clue this was happening.
You're
You walked
surprised,
right
right?
up to the. Yeah, you're surprised for the first round.
Okay, so I missed my round.
Yeah, and
Okay.
same with Ham. It was just Ginian and Liz were kind of like they caught this as it was happening. All right, so Ginian, you are first.
Okay.
You notice these creatures approaching you.
Do they look? They have javelins. I'm assuming they look kind of threatening.
They are wielding a spear, and it looks very much like you are being hunted right now.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of snap my fingers and frostbite the closest one. It's right here.
Okay.
Magic.
So okay, hold on. That's a Constitution saving throw. Here, I'll
Are
link
they
it.
at range?
Yeah,
60 feet.
60 feet.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's huge.
Oh, wait, how do you
Damn.
do that with the movement thing?
You
Oh,
can like
that
point
is-
and drag, right?
In the very
Yeah, yeah.
top left on the hot bar, there's it's like a circle with it looks like a ruler pointing into
Yeah,
it.
the ruler.
You can click that and it switches.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, frostbite's a Constitution saving throw.
Thinking about my next
For
roll.
Frog Boy.
Okay. Yeah, it rolled a 21.
Okay,
So
that
does
doesn't
it?
do
It looks
anything.
like it only damages if it fails the save.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that doesn't do anything. So I'm just gonna hop
All right.
back here.
Yeah, you throw out like your like a bolt of frost flies across to the frog-like creature, and it kind of seems to just graze over its scaly skin.
Does this
And,
I feel like we're
provide any
fucked.
cover?
This
It'd
guy seems
be-
strong.
Half cover.
Okay, I'll sit here.
Okay, and next would be Ham, but he's just now kind of like catching on to the situation that's going on, and
I'm a little slow.
this, yeah. So you wouldn't have a chance to react, but you're aware of the situation now, and this the frog-like creature closest to you guys in the room, this one, would start making its way. It would creep forward a little bit toward where Gust is. Oops.
I'm not. Oh, there we go.
And it takes a step up and it throws its spear toward you.
How do you? Someone knew that it had a spear. How do you see that stuff?
You gotta listen to the DM.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like yeah. Pay attention.
Or
Okay, so
you can
it-
ask, for example.
I was looking
see-
at the picture.
Yeah.
He's a frog
It's
guy. That's enough.
Yeah.
So it throws its spear and it hits the rock. It doesn't quite hit Gus, but it falls off to the side, and it keeps moving forward. And as it's moving forward, it's able to it reaches down with its long padded fingers, and it's able to pick up the spear, and it makes a quick jab also,
What?
which that also misses.
Oh, thank you.
2 attacks? 2 actions? Holy shit.
Yeah, man, they're scary.
These guys are scary, I can already tell you.
Okay, and then it would be Gust manages somehow by sheer luck to evade all of these attacks. Emerald in hand now like sees this hulking armored frog creature, like about the same size as him, like standing up on the rock, the shadow from him blocking out momentarily the light coming from above. And he now is fully aware of the situation. And Liz, it's now your turn.
Okay. Liz is ready for action. It's his moment. That's what he's been training for, and he decides to move right here. You can see.
Yep.
To get cover from the tree.
Okay.
And decides to take a shot at this guy here.
Okay.
With his loaded light crossbow.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Come on, hit him, daddy. Yes.
Okay, that hits.
It does.
Yes.
And there goes my damage.
Oh.
Wait,
Hold on.
that's
is that the actual damage
no,
roll?
no.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
ooh. I was about to say,
Abort. That's
Okay,
my damage.
so you quickly you run up behind the tree and kind of like duck around and look for an opportunity. Your crossbow is already loaded and ready. And you fire off a quick bolt to the unsuspecting creature in front of you, and it pierces through. It's wearing this like thick hide armor, and it seems to be no trouble. The shot was so well placed that it pierces right through this armor, and it lets out like this nasty sounding, like guttural croaking sound as the bolt pierces through, and like black blood kind of like starts to leak out from around the hole where the bolt is pierced into it. And Genyon, it's your turn.
All right.
These guys are gonna be tanky, Tyra.
I'll go ahead and pop my head back out and try another frostbite on this guy. Another Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
I'm really shit at low levels, by the way. This is pretty much all I can do at the moment, but I scale pretty well, so it is what it is, guys.
Wait, what is it actually saving against? Your roll?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
every character has
Well-
a spell save DC, and you gotta beat his spell save DC.
Okay. All right. Let's
Yeah, it's a 13.
Okay. So that would your frost like hits its
Yeah, we have no
amphibious
items, guys.
skin and seems to have like very little effect.
He needs to learn
All
Frozen
right.
Orb. Yeah.
And Ham, now you're the fight has broken out and you're ready, and it is your turn.
I'm pretty scared, actually.
I see them going after my boy Gust, so I decide to charge in to next to him, like right there.
Do you know how
is
flanking
moving-
works?
Can you like move through people and stuff, like allies?
Yeah.
So like,
Magic, do you know how flanking works?
no.
On melee? Well, maybe Vision,
So-
if you want to.
Yeah, so when it's just two people, you would have to be on opposite sides. So if you go onto the opposite side, any flanking would be a +2 to your attack roll. And then how we're doing flanking in this, normally it would be an advantage. But if you have 3 or 4 people also flanking, it would be +5 attack rolls for everybody.
All right. If I have reach and say to move to like this space, would that still count as flanking? Because I have
I'm
a
not
pole
sure.
arm.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Because it's melee and it's like a straight line.
Yeah,
between-
that would make
right?
sense. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as long as there's like a line between the melee attacks like this or like this or like this, it's
And
flanking.
then you
Yeah.
get the what's the opportunity attack if they move out of your melee range, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna move to this spot, which is 20 feet. Can I
Okay.
go through trees like that?
Yeah, we would just assume like you're walking around them, like close to the edges.
You have
of
enough
the
movement
bark.
anyway, right? So
Yeah. Well, I have 25 because I'm a dwarf, so it's a little bit less. But I'll move there, and I'll take a swing at this guy with my glaive, since it has
Okay.
a reach. How do I do this?
It's on. It should be on your bio on your items or attacks. There will
Your
be an attack
weapons?
section. It'll say attack. Let's look. It's right under your saves.
That?
yep.
Did I do it
Ooh,
right?
Nice. That's a
Yep.
crit.
So that'll hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Now
Okay.
you click on the chat box, click on glyph, and that's your damage.
So how are we doing crit rolls?
There it is.
Like that.
So it's 8 plus 5, right?
Oh, that is a critical.
Yeah, yeah. It is
So
a crit.
It's a crit.
you-
Wait, how do we? I thought you had special crit rules, right?
it is. It's just that 5 will be a 6 instead.
So it's 8
so-
plus 6. You always max roll your crit damage, basically, right?
Right. It'll be 14, and
Holy fuck, that's a lot of damage.
you
Well, wait, why is the 5 become a 6? Because I rolled a 1d10.
So
that was a
8 is your
8.
normal damage, 5 is the crit, but on the homebrew rules by Vision,
Oh, okay.
right?
Okay. Right. No, I'm wrong. So you roll. All right. So your 8 would be from the 1d10,
Yes.
and then it should be.
And then I get 4 from it being a glaive. Is what it says, I think.
Okay. I
No,
think for
no.
this
I don't
one,
know. I
That's
don't
your
know.
hit. That's your hit.
yeah, I'm gonna have to relook at the crit stuff. We'll just do it normal for now, and then I'll have to look
Yeah,
at roll
sure.
20 again.
Let's
But yeah, yeah. Just your attack though, it pierces through. How do you want to kill this thing?
Ooh.
Well, I want to like shove. So I get him with the tip of the glaive into the stomach and just gut him.
Fuck. Yeah, I should have killed him. So they're not as tanky
No one
as
messes
I
And
with
thought.
as you
my
do that,
boy.
it's all of it's weird and strange. Yeah. So as you do this, its organs kind of like spill out onto the ground. Maybe there's even a little bit of black blood that splatters out across like in Gust's direction, and its organs just like kind of like arrange themselves like out into a pile on the floor beneath the rock,
Boggers. He
and
actually
it
killed
is
him.
dead.
I kind of look at my dwarven friend and I wipe off some of the blood and
That's
I just
pretty
smile
nice.
and I'm just like thumbs up.
We got lucky with that. Really good.
Okay, and then as it falls, there's the one other frog-like creature in the back of the room, kind of like prowling around. And let's see here. As its friend falls, it lets out a horrifying, like croaky scream. And before it's able to move, Gust, you have a chance to attack it here.
Yeah, I'm gonna use vicious mockery on it.
Okay.
I'm just checking range real quick. I would see him from here, right? Yeah, tree's not blocking
Yeah.
too hard.
Yeah, you can see it.
All right. Hacha. So, it's gotta do a wisdom save, and you gotta beat a 14.
Okay, it definitely hits. I gotta look at this vicious mockery.
So if it hits, then it takes 1d4 of psychic damage, which is the 3 damage, and it has disadvantage on its next turn for attack.
Okay. It hits and it kind of holds its hand to its head and shakes a little bit. And it does seem to have damaged it. And then in response, it will come lunging out of the darkness there and kind of throw its spear out toward you, Gust. Let's see
Okay.
here.
Scary frog.
So I'm
Oh,
trying to get its sheet up. All right, so it throws its spear.
Remember, any attack on its next turn is disadvantage.
I accidentally clicked Liz to disadvantage.
Oh, I feel attacked.
All right, so that would miss you. Same situation there. It throws its spear and it hits the dirt in this location, kind of becomes embedded into the ground. And it runs kind of like trying to keep a safe distance from the dwarf with a glaive. And it steps here and picks up its spear. Oops, not on your dead friend. Picks up its spear and then also makes a quick jab.
Oh my god.
Okay, that one wouldn't be at disadvantage. I forgot to click that off, but also that doesn't hit. It goes to stab into you, and you're a bit too small and agile for it to land the hit. And the spear passes right beside you under your arm, and it is now Liz's turn.
Well, I adjust my position and I move to get a better shot behind this tree, also being covered. And I take another shot with my light crossbow. Well, I assume that hits. Yeah,
Yeah, that does hit.
It should hit.
That hits.
and I do 4 damage.
Okay. So you reach around the cross with the tree again and fire your loaded crossbow, and between like the mental turmoil that it was facing from Gust's attack, and then your bolt now piercing through its skin, it seems very winded and ready to collapse, and you can tell that this target would be bloodied.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Okay, and then back to the top, Genian.
Okay. See, speed's 30. How are we do diagonal movement?
Just the same as if it would be adjacent.
Okay.
Just 5 feet.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna go ahead and stab it with my scimitar.
Kill it!
Nice.
Okay. That hits.
Oh shit! Nice. Kill it!
Wait. Okay.
Now,
How do I roll
it
for
hits.
damage with it?
You click on
Just
the
click
name, the name on the weapon on the chat.
Yeah. But I meant like the damage. Okay, that. Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
7.
Okay. How would you like to kill it?
Hey!
Um,
Nice.
I don't know. I'll stab into its side and then kind of ride it up through its arm.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
and then you Genian slashes in with his scimitar and rips it up, cutting through this reptilian
his dick
skin
off.
like it's like
Like
paper.
it's butter.
Yeah, like a hot knife through butter, and its intestines and lungs and some various bones that are shattered in the attack kind of spill out the side as the figure collapses onto the ground next to its also already slain comrade.
I look over at my Dragonborn friend, and I look at him, and I give him 2 thumbs up.
Hell
Give
yeah.
that try.
As the fight ends,
So-
I make sure I pick up the arrows I used.
Is there
the bolts.
anything they were carrying that we can see? Was it just their armor?
Just
Javelins?
other than their spears, it looks like just some regular hide armor.
I
Now
guess we should-
pierced and covered in blood.
I guess you
Well-
should take the emerald back.
I have the emerald in my hand. I look at the group, say, back to the room. Get 3 out of 3. Smile and kind of dance a little in place.
Before we leave the room, I make sure I pick up my arrows.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I kind of want to fight some more of them.
It's
go hunting.
bloodthirsty. It's bloodthirsty
Yep.
now.
So everyone just move your tokens to this room.
Yeah, sure.
That's obviously where we're heading.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens when we get 3 of 3.
I'm gonna
Okay.
stand in front of my statue.
I put the emerald on the table next to the pearl, and I think it was a ruby, the other one.
All right, yeah. As you you walk into this room, and now that all the stones are in the same room, the statues turn to 3 out of 3, and they glow like a bright blue glow. And all around you, the walls start to drip, and it's slowly the torches go out, and the room gets darker and darker. And
We go back to
it's
the real
like
world.
looking out of a rainy window as the reality around you seems to fade. And the next thing you see is just pitch black. And then through your eyelids opening, you find yourself back in the arena.
Ooh. Okay.
I look around at my teammates, and I'm like, I pull out my flute, and I start doing a little jig and playing a little song in excitement.
I'm
Okay.
suspicious.
And you open your eyes, sitting here in the arena, and most of the crowd is dispersed at this point. You're all sitting down, kind of like looking around, and everyone that was here earlier is gone. But across from you, there's another group, also sitting down, kind of. They seem really out of it. Like the switching back and forth. You can assume that they just like recently exited their trial.
Do we kill them?
And they kind of all look over to your group now sitting up, and they all kind of give you they're all giving you a death stare. And also like as all this is going on, you hear the crowd around kind of cheer as like another group escapes.
And
And that's where we'll end.
Yeah, I'm playing along to the cheering. I'm excited. I'm happy.
That's where we end?
Yeah.
Okay.